All right, we're live. Hopefully, we're going to give it a few minutes here just to see everything is working properly on both ends.
Testing audio 1, 2, 3.
I got you. Yeah, YouTube shows live. Facebook should show live here in a second.
Facebook is live.
Facebook is live. Perfect. Welcome, everybody. Or if you're just joining us, welcome. We have Chandler and Alex out on the border of Illinois and Iowa right now, and they are currently on the move. We have them muted at the moment. They are headed over to, what'd they say, Ryan?
I just joined, so I'm unaware where they're headed, although I do believe they're in far eastern Iowa.
Yeah, they were right on the border. They were in Burlington. I believe they were going to go over towards Roseville or Monmouth. Something like that. They're going to travel back into Illinois.
Yeah, so a warm, unstable air mass is in place across Iowa. We're just kind of waiting for the cap to break so these storms really strengthen into tornado-producing supercells. So that's what we're kind of waiting on right now. So as those storms work their way northeast, where Chandler and Alex will be, we should be getting some good live stream audio and video in here for you guys.
Right, and I'm going to actually unmute them here in a second and let them know they're going to be unmuted so that they can kind of explain what's going on. Just to hear them. All right, Chandler, you're going to be unmuted and you're going to talk to people. Just explain what you're doing.
We're good. Thank God. Just tell me when.
Yeah, go for it.
What's up, everybody? Alex and I are out here. We are in Iowa currently. We're about to cross back over into Illinois. We're out ahead of a cluster of storms. We're trying to see what it's going to do, and hopefully we can find a storm to latch onto here. Not a lot going on right now. A few decent supercells, but we're a little early yet. We got to figure out what's going on. So.
Sounds good. We'll just continue to show radar at the moment.
A lot of people are asking about tomorrow in Michigan already, and we'll cover that here a little bit later on. But the severe weather for tomorrow is still on track, so we'll have an update for you guys here coming soon.
Ryan, while they're on the move, do you actually want to talk about the severe threat tomorrow just briefly?
Yeah, I can do that. So not much has changed from our post from noon today. We're still expecting severe thunderstorms, potentially 2 rounds. First being early in the day in the southwest part of the state around noon. That's going to rapidly move east-northeastward at around 60 to 70 miles per hour. So storms will be moving pretty quickly. So there's a second round that's possible along the cold front a little bit later on in the evening around 3 to 4, and that'll work its way eastward, mainly eastward, with a little bit of a northward motion. That's expected to reach the eastern part of the state and clear the state by 7 or 8 o'clock. So potentially 2 rounds. And then the first round is kind of up in the air if instability is going to be present, if it's not going to be present. If it is present, severe thunderstorms are possible with that round, as well as the second round. But right now, we're just kind of watching to see how the first round will affect the second round. Also watching out west in Iowa currently and in Missouri. Some models do have a squall line taking shape, and that's expected to push eastward. If that does happen, if it becomes a bigger complex of storms, it may cut off our Gulf moisture that's streaming up from the Gulf of Mexico into Michigan. If that does occur, we'll have to watch in the morning hours, early morning hours, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll have to look at our surface observations and kind of see where our dew points are at and see if the moisture is making it up here or if it's stuck down where these storms kind of cut it off at. Otherwise, we're just kind of watching and waiting for these models to come out. New runs come out starting at 9:30 tonight. So we'll probably post an update either late tonight or first thing in the morning. And also, as far as severe threats go, the whole entire state and the lower peninsula is going to be under the gun for severe weather. And that includes all hazards, tornadoes, hail, winds, localized flooding if you get underneath a storm that's dumping some heavy rain rates. I know Central Michigan was under a flood watch last night, so already saturated soils. But as far as a severe threat goes for tomorrow, the potential is there for a very high-end event, including stronger tornadoes, larger hail, up to 2, maybe 3 inches in diameter, and then as well as significant wind gusts approaching 70 plus miles per hour. The uncertainty there, still, like I said, still lies in how well we destabilize in the atmosphere, which right now all the models are showing enough instability present for there to be a severe threat. So that's what I have for you guys so far. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I have a live chat pulled up here so I can see what's going on. But that's what we got for you guys.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about tomorrow. I know not everybody's excited about severe weather, but I know we are, especially in Michigan where we don't see this too often. Unfortunately, I'm going to be at work, but in Grand Rapids where I'm at, I'm on the top floor working, so I can actually see quite a ways out there. So maybe I'll do a little reconnaissance from out the window.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Just hopefully nothing. How tall is your building? Should I ask first?
It's only about 6 floors. It's not right. It's a little bit up the valley. Not too much though.
So Illinois. Do you guys want to give them an update? So Chandler just said that they're back heading into Illinois right now. They just crossed the border from Iowa back into Illinois.
So if you're looking at our radar screen right now, where I got my mouse cursor, they just left Burlington here, and every single one of these dots that you see is an active chaser, and there's some pretty good chaser convergence in this area.
Yeah, a lot of chasers out. Moderate risk, so it's level 4 out of 5 out there in Iowa. Looking at some questions here now. Renee, personally, I'm thinking I don't want to give too much specifics yet, just because it's probably going to change once I see morning model runs. But for me personally, I will probably be along US 127 around the Jackson area. Might be a little bit west or south of there, maybe a little bit east, just depending on what these models are showing. And just kind of setting up where we think the best ingredients will come together. And right now, that's where I'm thinking setting up. As far as Joel goes, I'm pretty sure he's chasing, as well as Alex. I believe they're going to head. I think Joel might come down towards the Lansing area. I'm not sure yet. We'll give out locations, more specific locations tomorrow. Not exact, just for our safety, but more exact locations will come tomorrow. We'll have a map up of that too as well, showing where we're going to be at. Shannon, we're actually showing Iowa and Illinois right now. We have chasers from Michigan Storm Chasers out chasing that area. So we're just going to hop on here, watch their stream, and also answer some questions on tomorrow's setup. So this is a stream of the severe threat out in Iowa and Illinois.
Yeah, we're going to just keep it on radar for now. mostly radar. You can kind of see Chandler and Alex's video stream on the left-hand side. Hopefully they see something here soon, as they are trying to just get into position. Looking at radar, I don't really see anything too spectacular.
Yeah, I'm really expecting these storms to be more organized in the next hour or two. Right now, they're struggling with a capped environment, so they're going to take. But basically, what that means is there's a lid on the atmosphere, not allowing these storms to grow to their full potential. Once that cap breaks, these storms should explode and be tornado producers as we get towards sunset. Joan or Joanne, I apologize, I got that wrong. Grace, Michigan, if I'm not mistaken, that's up at the very, very top of the Lower Peninsula. So you asked what time? I'm going to say probably early afternoon, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. We're looking at a first line coming in South Michigan around noon, 11 o'clock, maybe in the morning. And that should rapidly work its way northeastward in a line. So I would expect that to reach you by probably between 1 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Nikki, the Petoskey area is included in the severe risk. All of Lower Michigan is included. So Petoskey would probably be a little bit earlier, around 1 o'clock, I would say, would be a good time frame for you. And then potentially a second round a little bit later on, around 5 or 6.
Yeah, I've never seen the enhanced area all over the southern or the Lower Peninsula. That's new to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty rare event. Enhanced risk are usually issued out ahead of what we call MCSs or squall lines or sometimes derechos. It's a very typical summer type pattern. Very rarely do we get enhanced risks this early in spring and fall. And usually when this does happen, it's because of the wind shear we have in place for tornadic activity. This enhanced risk is actually tornado driven, meaning that the tornado risk is what is causing the enhanced risk. It's a 10% tornado risk with a hashed area for strong tornadoes, and that basically encompasses the entire state, or should I say the lower peninsula. Upper Peninsula right now is getting freezing rain, snow, significant freezing rain, should I say, up to a ½ inch in some spots. So expect some scattered power outages up there. But for the most part, the enhanced risk in Lower Michigan it's a pretty rare thing.
Yeah, winter's not over for the Upper Peninsula yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know a lot of people up there were complaining about the snow. And I don't blame them one bit. I mean, that's just part of where they live. But at the same time, we're in April and it's still snowing, and of course, nobody likes freezing rain.
Yeah, I never want that.
Let's take a look at some more comments here. Kath, mid-Michigan should be severe by after 4. I would expect mid-Michigan, depends on exactly where. If you're in the Lansing mid-Michigan area, it could be as early as 2 or 3. It just really depends. Like, these models are having a little bit of a harder time nailing down the first round. Some models don't even have a first round. So as early, I would say, as 1 or 2 o'clock for mid-Michigan, just depending on where you're at. If you're in the Lansing area, that's central mid-Michigan, I would definitely say around 1 or 2 would be your first round. Shannon, this is for all of us, not just Michigan. Yeah, so the enhanced risk that I'm let me pull up the enhanced risk here, or the risk areas for tomorrow. But yes, it does extend down into Indiana and parts of Ohio and Illinois. Yeah, so
you want to show that on stream? Can you?
I don't have it on my computer.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at my phone. I can do that a little bit later.
Yep, that's fine.
But the enhanced risk encompasses basically the entire state with the exception of the very, very tippy top of the Lower Peninsula. But it's such a small sliver, we can just go ahead and say the whole entire state is under the enhanced. That stretches into most of Ohio, all of Indiana, down into Kentucky, the eastern half of Tennessee, the western half of Tennessee, and then the eastern half of Illinois, and the very far southeastern half of Missouri. So it's a pretty large area, and then the slight risk goes down almost basically to the Gulf of Mexico in Texas and Louisiana. So it's a fairly large area for this enhanced risk. And then the tornado threat, I can go ahead and give you some locations on that. The 10% hatched, which is the area for stronger tornadoes, is centered over, again, basically the entire lower peninsula of Michigan, the northwest part of Ohio, the central and northern parts of Indiana, stretching back into the eastern parts of Illinois. And then surrounding those areas, there's a 5%, and then surrounding those, a 2% that reaches down back into Texas. Lily, tornadoes do have a roar to them. A lot of people do say it sounds like a freight train. Personally, I've never had a tornado bear down on me in a house, but I have witnessed tornadoes out in the open fields, and it does have a roar to it, but I wouldn't describe it as a train. But if you're in your house, I would assume that the sound would be a lot different depending on if you're in town or versus in the country, if that makes sense. Because when you're in town, sounds just kind of sound weirder or different, should I say.
Everything's vibrating and shaking.
Right.
I'm sure that's where they're getting that from.
Right.
Yeah, I've never been close enough to a tornado to where I could hear that, or at least not one big enough.
Right. I've been around quite a few. First of all was 2017 up in the thumb of Michigan. There was Kingston. I was about, I want to say, half mile away from that. And you could hear the roar from that. And that was a pretty weak tornado as well. One back down in Indiana, there's an EF2, a strong EF2. I could hear that about a mile and a half away. Like it's a very distinct sound.
Yeah, I bet that's hard to get out of your head when you hear it.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Ashley, the Grand Blanc area, Grand Blanc, however you pronounce it. I know a lot of people are probably going to get mad at me for pronouncing names wrong. So I do
think
apologize.
It's Grand Blanc.
Yeah, I've heard it both. So I just don't want to make anybody mad. So I'll say it both ways. But yeah, that area it's included in the enhanced risk. So again, all hazards are on the table for that. As far as timing goes, again, I would just say early afternoon, around 1 to 2, 1 to 3. It's a little bit further east as these storms are kind of working southwest to northeast, so it might be a little bit later on, around 2 or 3. But yeah, it's pretty similar timing to Lansing. Rochester Hills, it's kind of hard to tell. Excuse me. It's kind of hard to tell what areas will be bad and what areas won't. The risk encompasses the entire state, but if these supercells, if these supercells do form, it's just kind of hard to tell where they will and where they're going to track at. So it's better to describe a broad area than nail down specific. Some models do have specific locations. Some of the models are actually pretty accurate sometimes at predicting where supercells could be. I know if you guys remember last weekend to the Rolling Fork tornado down in Mississippi, one of the models had that supercell going basically right over that area. And that was about 12 hours from the actual the event. So I see Nick here is pulling up a severe thunderstorm warning, looks like.
We completely missed that.
Yeah, we can go ahead and cover that. So that's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning is that Allegan County?
That is Allegan County. So, yeah, you got Dorr, Wayland, Hopkins, Allegan, Fenville, Lee, Gaines, Douglas area. Douglas is just on the edge of it, heading northeast towards Caledonia, Middleville.
I'm trying to figure out how to click on this. I'm on my own radar scope now. There it goes. So the warning does include, like Nick just said, the areas, and it's warned for 1-inch hail. The max wind gust is expected to be less than 50 miles per hour. So this is a hail-driven severe thunderstorm warning. So if you guys have cars outside, I would go ahead, if you have garages, move them into their garages or move them to areas that they're more protected from hail. It does have a good-sized hail core on it, about to impact Fenville there in areas just east of Fenville. And that's moving east-northeast at right around 35 to 40 miles per hour. So if you guys are in any of those areas, Dorr, Wayland, Hopkins, Allegan, Fenville, go ahead and hunker down, get your cars into safer locations, and just be prepared for some heavy thunderstorm and some possibly large hail.
I could use a good thunderstorm right now.
Yeah, that's actually not too far away from you, Nick. There, you're up just north of Grand Rapids there.
Yeah, it's a couple counties down, but that's all right.
Right. If that storm does continue, that looks to impact the greater Grand Rapids area. It might just skip it to the south the way I'm looking at radar here, but that may end up clipping Kentwood area. If it turns more northward, it would hit the Grand Rapids metro. So just be prepared if you're in Grand Rapids for a potential for some severe hail.
Glad we got home covered. Yeah, I just remembered the storm that was coming on the land near South Haven, and I was like, we should probably look at that real quick.
Right.
So yeah, it looks like the storm tracks are actually trending more north now. It might turn up to Caledonia, but we'll see.
Have to wait and see there. The environment kind of is more so favorable for eastward moving eastward moving storms, just because that warm front is very close in proximity. So it favors more of an eastward motion than a northward motion.
Yes, and it is worth noting that these storms coming through right now are moving much slower than the ones are going to be tomorrow.
Right. And also there is very little damaging wind threat, and there's basically a these storms will more than likely remain non-tornadic. We don't have instability present. I don't want to say it's not going to happen, because with severe thunderstorms, they're always possible, but the environment here is not supportive of tornadoes. So just keep that in mind. This is going to be what we call elevated, so it's not surface-based, taking advantage of the instability on the ground, if that makes sense. So I see a lot of more questions here popping in. First of all, I want to go back to Chandler and Alex here. I see they're kind of closing in on, it looks like a base on their stream. I'm not sure what that's about.
I'll get them in here in a second, unless you want to real quick. Hey, Chandler, we're going to do an update with you real quick.
Yeah, so we are headed east at this point in time, over to Roseville, Illinois. Nick, I don't know if you can show radar or not. There's a cluster of storms. The two southernmost and westernmost are kind of what we're targeting. We're just waiting for things to get a little bit more organized before we do anything to get them. Because right now it just kind of looks like a big cluster, and we're trying to not get in a big cluster. We're just going to kind of wait and see what happens. And that main cell line over from Gorin to Kahoka, or however you say that, to Keokuk, that's probably going to continue going northeast and not turn right. But that southern cell just to the northeast of Macon, Missouri, is probably going to be the one that ends up doing stuff, and we will end up targeting. We're just going to wait for it to mature and continue coming up this way, because it is still pretty early in initiation. There's still a lot of time for things to continue to develop, so we're just going to stay out ahead of it for now and make sure that we're ready for it when it gets here.
Sounds good. Thank you. All right, we'll take it back to just a radar view here now. Yeah, just waiting on these storms to fire up. Get energized.
I'm here. I'm just tweeting out something real quick for the people on Twitter.
That's perfect. Got to keep Twitter informed.
Right. We got Facebook and YouTube covered, but we need to get Twitter back on here. We'll answer more questions about tomorrow's setup here in a minute.
We could go live on Twitter as well.
I've never tried that before.
Because I believe with StreamYard here, we now can stream up to 3 places at the same time.
Sweet.
Won't the Lake Michigan storm shredder kill off tomorrow's storms, or at least the severity of them?
Where was that question at?
That was on Facebook. That is a great question.
Hold on. Where is it at? I'll answer it. Give me a second.
Missy asks, won't the Lake Michigan storm shredder kill off tomorrow's storms, or at least the severity of them?
Okay, I'll get to that here in a second, Missy. I want to answer. Okay, Nancy, I see you, and then Kath for Lapeer. Both areas for Hudson and Lapeer. Just going in order here, answering questions. But Hudson will be probably one of the first to get storms around noon, maybe a little bit earlier than that. Possibly severe, but there's a second round that we're watching more closely. The later in the afternoon, the better, because more instability. But there is some question as to if it's going to be severe. The first line, should I say. So Hudson, be prepared for storms both around noon and then also a little bit later on in the later afternoon time frame, around 3 to 4, maybe closer to 5. Lapeer, same thing. Lapeer, although you're going to be a little bit later, you're up there a little bit further north and east. So around 2 o'clock, I would say be prepared for your first round, and a little bit later, around 6 to 8 o'clock for your second. Missy, as far as Battle Creek goes, and as far as the lake killing off the severity of the storms, so I want to cover this a little bit more detailed. But Battle Creek, again, is basically the center point of the enhanced risk, so it's right in the heart of it. As far as timing goes, I would say early afternoon, again, between 1 and 3, I would say. The lake is not going to kill off these storms. And I'm going to say that again, the lake will not kill these storms off. There is enough moisture streaming up from the Gulf. There's enough dynamics above in the wind shear and the way that the atmosphere is positioned right now. It's very favorable for severe storms. These storms will not be crossing the lake, or at least it shouldn't be crossing the lake. What I mean by that is the first round could come up from Indiana, southwest to northeast motion. And then the second round, as that cold front comes into Michigan from the west, storms may fire on land. So the lake should not be an issue, and I don't expect it to be an issue at all. Allegan, Renee, you guys are under the severe warning now for hail. If you want to zoom in there, Nick. So that is the purple there. That is your hail core. Can you switch that to correlation coefficient?
I'll do side by side.
Sweet. So you see all that green there on the right side of your screen there. Your green area right in the middle of that, all that red, yep, where he's circling. That is your hail core. That is where the bulk of the hail is falling. Now, there could be some smaller pea-sized hail up where you see, up there, right there where he's circling. Those areas might be having pea-sized hail or bigger raindrops, but the bulk of the heaviest hail, the larger hail, is right there in that green section. What town is that closest to? I see it up there.
That is just south of Fenville.
All right, so just south of Fenville there, and that's moving northeast at around 40 miles per hour. I don't have my radar pulled up, but I will here very shortly. Here it is. So I have my radar pulled up now. So expect that to impact Dorr. You're in the path of that. I don't see any more towns between Dorr and Fenville listed, but
there's Hopkins, south of Dorr.
Right. They should be. I don't know. That's kind of moving eastward. So Hopkins, I would say Hopkins, Allegan, Watson, Wayland, and Dorr. Depending on if this wobbles south or north, Hopkins and Dorr especially, and then Wayland a little bit later on, about 25 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, it shows Hopkins might see this around 6:30, just after 6:30. Dorr, Wayland may see this around 6:45, closer to 7. That's just with the storm track lines. I'm going to switch this back to velocity scan.
Go ahead.
There is quite a bit of inflow right in Allegan. It is windy outside. At least by me, it is.
How'd you get side by side on this? I'm trying to do it on mine too. I don't see
On the computer?
Oh, you have Pro. I don't have Pro. That's why.
You should be able to do it without Pro.
Oh, I'm unaware then.
It's on the bottom. It's on the bottom by the play button, just to the left of the play button. Unless it is a Pro version.
No, I don't have that option. So
okay. I also have a quad pane. I can do.
Yeah, that's all Pro there. So that's I can't access that, but I do have my radar here pulled up. I don't see any M-ping reports of hail, so that's good. Although the hail indicated is about 1.5 inches per radar indications, but the warning is for 1 inch. So I don't think it's too large. I think it's probably going to stay right around 1 inch at most.
What's up,
that
Chandler?
warning? That warning is still for 50 mile per hour winds and 1 inch hail. So,
all right, and Chandler and Alex want the floor, so I'm going to quick throw the radar back over there. We got quite a few severe warns over there. All right, you're live.
Bring up that supercell composite again. We just wanted to break in real quick and say that the storms that we're targeting on mesoanalysis, which is one of the tools that we use to actively see parameters for severe weather, the cells that are down there are in the highest supercell composite parameter that right now there is. There's one just south of Davenport, southeast of Davenport, and just southwest of Quincy, Missouri. And those storms that are down there right now are only going to continue to move into the very favorable areas for supercells over the next hour or so. So it's looking a little bit more encouraging over here, and they are currently in the best significant tornado parameter. So they're going to stay in that over the next hour or so as well. And we'll see what the parameters continue to do as it lifts off to the northeast. But everything's looking pretty decent on our end. So we're going to wait this first little bit of crap out and see what we can do and try and get on some good storms.
All right. Thank you, Chandler and Alex.
Shannon asked a question regarding the I-69 corridor. She says that she has so many times that she's seen close calls with rotation over her house in Shiawassee County. Call the house the Great Divide because storms divide above my house. So she wants to know, can we explain why the I-69 corridor exists over I don't see the rest of that comment. I'm not sure if that's on my end or if what.
I believe no, it's not on that.
It's not on it. If you're asking why storms go over you or split you all the time, that is a myth. I know you don't want to hear this, but it is a myth because I thought the exact same thing about my town, and it turns out two or 3 years later after I formed this opinion, my town got rocked by a derecho with 80 mile per hour winds, and the whole town was just trees, power lines. We were out of power for 3 or 4 days. So tornadoes, there are areas that we call tornado hotspots. If you're closer to the lakes, lake breeze boundaries I can't talk. I apologize. Lake breeze boundaries could cause that. What that is basically inward blowing winds off the lake that creates like a trigger for storms and also enhances wind shear. I know here I'm from Southeast Michigan, from Lenawee County. There's a Lake Erie kind of blows inward in Monroe County. And there's an area where storms always kind of start to rotate from, if you're familiar with Southeast, and a lot of people are from this area, from about Milan, from Ypsi down to Milan into Dundee. Those areas are very heavily prone for tornadoes in Monroe County, even Carlton, Steiner, those areas up there. They've had tornadoes as well. So that's a kind of like an example of a tornado hotspot. So lakes can cause that. But as far as like on land tornado hotspots, I'm not entirely sure the answer to that. Just some areas are more prone to tornadoes than others. But splitting your house, that's a myth. It can happen to anyone. When you think it can't happen to you, it will.
Chandler was thinking about that with the snow this year, but then it was just the whole state of Michigan in some spots.
One thing I find ironic, I don't have totals, but Grand Rapids area got a tremendous amount of snow, whereas the southeast part of Michigan, over where I'm from, we only got maybe 30, 40 inches. Like, we did not get any significant amount of snow at all. So it was kind of localized this year.
I think the Grand Rapids area got almost 100 inches of snow. It just never stuck around.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have totals, but it's just kind of surprising how localized. And of course, it's more so lake effect than anything because you guys are over there by the lake. And
yeah, it's always the lake effect bands.
The lake effect machine, as we call it, was open pretty much all year round. So any chance the lake effect had, it was dumping snow. So that's probably a big reason for it.
For sure. And the weird thing about lake effect is it always seems like it avoids areas. Like it's always just like the lines, But it always seems like Allegan County seems like they get a lot of snow almost regularly. And then it kind of splits the center of Ottawa County sometimes. But of course, the lakeshore always gets dumped on as well.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with wind positioning as well. If the winds are blowing out of the due west, those little strands of lake effect snow bands will be more positioned with the wind. So
right.
It can be very localized. And that's what makes lake effect systems so hard to predict, because one area could have 8 inches, but if you go literally 2 or 3 miles in one direction, you may have nothing on the ground.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are like, well, you predicted 8 inches and I have nothing. Like, that's just the nature of lake effect snow. And also the same goes for winter weather as well. Like, these, we call them cutoffs, basically, where the warm air cuts off into the cold air. And that cutoff can be so sharp that one county could have 12 inches of snow, but the next county over could have nothing. It could have all rain. So winter weather is one of those things that's just very hard to forecast in general.
And I just got a message from one of our team members, Joel. Radar is indicating larger than 1 inch hail on this Allegan County storm. Although the hail core does seem to be, is that spreading or is it?
Yeah, it looks like it's spreading out there. I would say over 1 inch diameter hail is possible. I don't think it's higher than 1.5 inches. I did know the radar was indicating 1.75 inches earlier.
Yes.
I don't expect that to be falling. I would expect closer to 1 inch. But I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe golf balls at most. Or not golf ball, ping pong size. I think it's just the step below golf ball. I think golf ball is 2 inches. It's either 1.75 or 2 inches. So just below that, I would say ping pong would be a good guess.
Quarter size? Or is that's bigger than quarter, right?
Yeah, yes, quarter is 1 inch.
Okay.
I would say just a little bit above quarter would be a good guess. Maybe dollar coin size.
Okay.
Those gold dollar coins, if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, the Sacagawea or the president ones?
Yes, yep.
Gotcha.
Rhonda, yes. I'm not sure. Oh, I do believe, yeah, you were our contest winner, so I know you're from the local area here. Yeah, Dundee had a EF0 tornado, and that happened at 11 o'clock in the morning. And it was a very, very small scale setup there, but it was very favorable for tornadoes, and that was kind of like a shocker. But the environment was supportive of tornadoes there. It just kind of got overlooked.
April Fools.
Yeah, it happened on April Fools too. I'm part of the community pages, and a lot of people were actually claiming it was April Fool's joke, and it was not. So,
And Rhonda, I'm not sure if anybody reached out to you, but we do have your prize ordered. It should be headed your way.
I believe I got notification saying it shipped a couple days ago. I had to double check that, but I believe it's shipped.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. All
Nick is
the
on it.
arrivals are showing from April 4, which is today, to April 7. So by the end of the week,
Awesome.
you should be seeing those.
Jimmy, what are you referring? Are you referring to tomorrow's severe setup, or what exactly are you referring to in Southeast Michigan? Like, what time are you referring to? If anybody has questions regarding anything, really, we are happy to answer while we wait for Chandler and Alex to get in position for these upcoming storms out in Iowa.
And I do want to quick plug our YouTube channel. We are also live on YouTube at the moment. YouTube.com/, what is it? Michigan, just Michigan Storm Chasers, not MI Storm Chasers.
I believe it's MI Storm Chasers.
Okay.
If you do search Michigan Storm Chasers, our channel should pop up.
Perfect.
So I've just been informed in our group chat on Twitter, Nick, that this storm has a hail spike on it now. So if you want to zoom in on that really quick and kind of see what's going on there. Yeah, that hail.
That's wide.
It's a very wide area. I would definitely say 1.5 inch size hail at this point. If you're on the very south part of that, you're probably getting some pretty good wind gusts as well, because as that downward motion with the hail and the rain is falling, excuse me, that's awesome. Yeah, that's going to now that I'm not really too worried about that green. That's more so inflow, but
right.
I'm more so concerned about outflow winds from that storm, because there's so much downward force with that. Yeah, that latest update there, that looks really, really intense there. What town is it? What town is right there? Is that
right, just straight north of Allegan?
No, the Hopkins. I'm talking
Hopkins. Yeah, sorry, Hopkins is in the.
If you are in Hopkins, I would get your cars. If you can, make it outside right now. Get your cars in their garages, protected, and get back inside, because there is more than likely 1.5 inch size hail in there, and it looks like it's strengthening a little bit. So that could get a little bit larger. That's enough to break windshields and maybe even do some significant damage to roofing and siding as well. But back to the wind potential on this, as that hail is falling with such force, that kind of hits the ground and spreads outward. So that creates some downburst winds. So I would not be surprised if on the south side of that hail core there, just north of Allegan, if you're getting some good size or some good higher wind gusts there approaching severe limits. We'll see if that warning still is, that warning still says 50 per hour or less, but I would not be surprised if severe wind gusts are occurring just to the south of that hail core, just north of Allegan.
Yes. My brother just texted me saying it's going to go north of him, but I'm like, you do not want this hail.
Yeah. If you're in the path of this storm, if you're even in Wayland, or if you're further down the line here in Middleville and Irving and Hastings and Carlton and Freeport, Caledonia, Dorr, if you're in any one of those towns, I'd be getting your preparations for hail. Again, I don't think there's any tornado risk with this. There's good inflow to it. I don't think it's going to produce a tornado at all. It remains north of the warm front, which south of the warm front is unstable. North is stable. These are elevated storms, so it should just be mainly lightning and then hail with some downburst winds because of that hail being so strong. Let's see here. Yeah, Rhonda, thanks for following. I see you on our Facebook page a lot, so I just want to say thank you for myself personally. I see you interacting with our content quite a bit, so thank you for that.
Yes, thank you everybody for joining us. Actually.
Yes, everybody, really. Not just one, but Rhonda's somebody we see on our page a lot, so just thank you to Rhonda. Jimmy,
go ahead.
Jimmy asks about the severe threat for tomorrow in Southeast Michigan. Excuse me. Jimmy, I would definitely be prepared. I think the corridor between Lansing over to Flint and then areas south of that down to the Ohio border, the models are picking up on a broader area, a more specific broad area for higher end severe potential. So as far as timing goes, I would definitely say 1, 2 o'clock, depending on exactly where in Southeast Michigan. If you're from Detroit, south along the I-94 corridor, that's probably going to be closer to 1 or 2 for the first round, and later on about 5 to 6, I would say, for the second round.
Yeah, Ryan, you were just saying, look at that. Look at that inflow. That new velocity scan that inflow is getting pretty high.
Yeah, it's. I'm not concerned about rotation. That's not really rotation in my opinion. Let me go pull up my radar here real quick. It's got really good inflow to it, so it's not going to weaken. But I don't see much in the way of tornadic potential with this.
No, well, we can look at the relative velocity too.
Yeah, storm relative velocity really just kind of shows the downburst winds there more than anything. I do expect them to extend that warning into, what is that county over there? Help me out, Nick.
That's not Berry County, is it?
I think it is Berry.
Okay, it is Berry then.
I think it's Berry County here in Hastings, Irving, Orangeville.
Yeah, Middleville is in the crosshairs, along with Wayland. Wayland's just getting some heavy rain right now. Eventually, if this storm holds together, Freeport will also be in the path.
As it stands right now, I don't see this thing dying. It has inflow for days. So if that goes away, be concerned for it weakening. But even looking at differential reflectivity, or what we call ZDR for the updraft strength.
I just clicked that. Hopefully this loads here. I'm going to show
Yeah,
it.
mine's not loading either for some reason.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah, look at all that red. That is your updraft. Okay, and then that huge area in white within that red there, that is your huge hail core. That red is your updraft, and that white, Nick, below that you didn't circle there in that little notch, that is your hail core. That's very significant hail happening there.
Right here. Right?
Nope, up to the left. Basically, right where that purple is, that huge white area.
That's right here.
That area right there. Yep.
That right there.
That is ginormous hail, and I would not be surprised to see up to 2 inches now. This is growing very rapidly, and yeah, I would not be surprised to see an updated warning on that. That's concerning, and it's about to hit. It's about to hit you right there in Hopkins. So if you are in Hopkins, you're about to get hit by some pretty large hail. So I'm going to look on Twitter here for any reports. I'm curious. I'm really curious to see if we're getting anything.
I've got a coworker that lives in Hopkins. I've been talking to him.
Okay.
And I was like, get your cars inside. And he's just got back from the UP. So I'm going to see if he can.
Yeah, definitely warn people. If you know people in the path of this, get inside, get your cars protected if it's possible to. If you're in Hopkins, I'd say it's too late to do that. Do not go outside. If you're in Wayland or Dorr, you still have some time. This thing's moving slow enough you can get outside. But Hopkins, I say time is up. I'd get inside before you get pelted on the head with a hailstone, because that will hurt. It's potentially deadly. So if you're up here in Wayland, Dorr, Middleville, Irving, get inside, protect your cars if possible, and hunker down, because this is something you don't want to mess around with. This is some pretty significant hail. Nick, you still there?
I am here. Sorry.
Okay, cool. I'm just checking. You're good. I just got really quiet. I'm gonna look at some more questions here. Keep that. I keep that image on the radar up. Just keep it up there. Oakland County. So Cheyenne, Oakland County, a little bit later on for the first round, around 3 o'clock, 2 to 3 o'clock, and then second round closer to 6 to 8. How it's going to be, I can't answer that. The entire state is under severe threat. I can't really give out specifics for locations yet, but it is in the enhanced risk for tomorrow, including significant tornadoes and higher end wind gusts and large hail. Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Huge. Sorry to interrupt. This hail core is huge.
Yeah, it really is. I wonder what's radar indicated now.
Radar indicated 2.25 inches.
Yeah, I'm probably going to say 2 inches max on that. Usually it kind of over exaggerates, but I will say this. if and when this thing it will die eventually, but it's just a matter of when it will, or where it will, should I say. When it dies, this thing has such a strong updraft that's going to shed so much. They'll probably put a warning out for the winds for that. That's going to be some very strong downburst winds wherever it dies at. But as of right now, I do not see it dying at all, anywhere close to dying. Yeah, that ZDR is still red hot, so your updraft is still incredible on that thing.
Even in Orangeville here, it is.
Yeah, might have a new cell there popping up closer to Orangeville.
Let's check the reflectivity here. Kind of, not really. It might just be.
It's extending southward, so yeah. It's gonna turn into a giant elevated supercell. Looks like it already is a supercell, but it's gonna turn into something giant.
Let's look at the loop of this a second.
It is kind of. I'm noticing with the loop, it's kind of trying to hook on the back end there. There's some rotation being picked up on radar. But again, this is elevated. I don't expect this to be tornadic at all. Instability is lacking. I don't see much of anything that indicates. But man, that hail spike there on radar, holy smokes.
Yeah,
that's just incredible. Hopkins, if you are in Hopkins, you are probably taking 2-inch diameter hail. You're probably taking golf balls or maybe a bit larger than that.
That's a little bit larger.
Yeah, if you are in Wayland, you are up next. You still have 5 minutes to get outside, get your cars moved. Hunker down, get back inside. You have about 5 minutes before this thing is on top of you, and it's dumping hail. I'm telling you right now, this might be damaging to homes, cars for sure.
Trees,
yes. This is not something you want to play around with. That latest scan, wow.
You talking about differential reflectivity?
No, I'm looking at reflectivity here at 629.
Oh, yeah.
That it's just obliterated over Hopkins. That is a huge hail core. So if you're in Hopkins, right now, or know people in Hopkins or Wayland, check up with your people and make sure that the property's okay. That's not something you want to be under for very long. It's such a slow moving storm that it's probably going to dump hail for an extended period of time. So that's not going to be good. I'm going to look on Twitter now. I have not looked on Twitter yet, but I'm going to see if anybody has any pictures we can share.
Yep. Zach, is this worse than previous spring storms? Yes, the trend this spring is much worse than we've seen in the past. Am I correct in saying that?
Say what? Say that again? I'm sorry. I'm looking on Twitter.
This spring trend for severe storms is much worse than what it's been in years past.
So yes, and that is due to the neutral phase of the neutral phase of the Enzo. So there's La Nina, El Nino, and between those there's a neutral phase. So because we're in that neutral phase, it's overall historically more active, and the pattern that we're in right now is just spitting off system after system off of the California coast. Those work up, they're dynamic systems, highly sheared, typical spring-like pattern. But this is something you see every 4 to 6 years. The pattern kind of switches to La Nina to El Nino every 2 to 3. So every 4 years or so, we'll say 4 to 6 years, this happens. And yes, it's a very active spring, historically speaking, and also what we're looking at in the later part of April and early May. There does appear to be a slowdown coming up after this system tomorrow. There appears to be a little bit of a break, but I expect that to kind of ramp back up when we get into the mid to later parts of April. Closer to the 20th, I would say it's going to ramp back up into May.
Yeah, and looking at this latest scan, Orangeville is definitely the cell is definitely growing over Orangeville at the moment.
Look, let me hop on. I'm still scrolling Twitter here. I'm trying to desperately find something. If you guys know people, I'm not going to say try and get pictures, but if you guys know people, if anybody sends you any content from that area, let us know, because we are interested. I personally am interested in seeing how big that hail actually is.
Yeah, like I said, I got my coworker who lives down there, and I am begging him to send me video or pictures, but he's not going to go out there yet because it is still bearing down on him.
Right. All right, more questions here. Oh, we have a lot more questions. Oakland, Kalamazoo, covered that. Saginaw, Freeland. Hot spot. What?
Sorry, I'm just looking at the mesocyclone
Okay.
the storm track, and it's not giving me a hail intensity anymore. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. I'm looking at my radar to see if I can pick it up. Mine is saying. Oh, you're right. It doesn't. Okay.
Anyway,
That's probably still around an inch there. It looks like it's kind of weakened just a bit, but it's probably right around an inch in diameter. Yep. Back to the questions. Freeland, Saginaw. Not really a hot spot. I mean, the entire state's really a hot spot if you want to think about it. But as far as specific hot spots like locations, I wouldn't say Freeland, Saginaw. I wouldn't be surprised if something does happen there, but I wouldn't be surprised if something happens in Kalamazoo or Lansing or Muskegon or Detroit. You know what I mean? All of the states under the threat, so we'll have to just kind of wait and see. Models right now are kind of playing along the 127 corridor along Lansing as a better threat, but that's very, very, very low confidence in that.
Taking a look at the enhanced echo tops at the moment, Joel just told me that he can see the storm, the thunderhead, I guess you could call it, over from Mount Pleasant.
Oh, really? That's a pretty.
It's only showing 40,000 feet though.
That's still pretty tall.
It is tall. I've seen taller.
Chandler just sent a photo to the chat. Oh, I think he sent to somebody else. Somebody else sent him that pic.
His partner, yes, one of his chase partners, 50 miles to his south.
So it looks like storms are becoming more. They're starting to strengthen at least.
Yes, I've seen a lot more severe warnings out there. Check out the latest. Why is that? There we go.
So yeah, still some good sized hail up there. Probably about an inch in diameter.
Yeah, it seems like it's breaking up a little bit up there, but again, it's not dying anytime soon.
No, it's gonna keep on going for a little bit longer. I wouldn't be surprised that lasts a few counties more. ZDR is still pretty red hot strong with the updraft, so it's not losing intensity. It's just probably recycling.
Yep.
Yeah, look how red that ZDR. That's the updraft strength there is.
Very, very bright.
Yes.
And there's that nice gray area right over Hopkins. And that gray area is just showing all of that hail falling.
Yep. We call it a ZDR hole. That indicates either a tornado or hail, but in this case, it's clearly clear-cut hail.
Big ones.
See some more questions here regarding tomorrow.
I'm a little surprised they haven't updated this severe warn yet, but it's moving so slow.
They got some time there.
They're gonna have to probably update this one.
They will eventually.
This one expires in 6 minutes.
Yeah, they'll have to extend that, I would assume. I wouldn't think they're going to drop that. If they do, they'll probably put up a special weather statement, but I think they're going to extend that warning. Van Buren County, I believe that is central Michigan. Am I right? Van Buren? No, that's actually West Michigan. I'm from the east side, so I'm still trying to learn all these county names. But
I
Van
live over
Buren,
here. I don't even know.
Okay, let me look this up really quick, make sure.
Get a county map up.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm from southeast part of the state there. I'm not really too familiar with the northern part and the western part of Michigan. So yeah, Van Buren County is over there by the lake. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, just
so
off
that's
the
right above Berrien. So that's going to be a little bit earlier, Michaela. When will the storm hit? I'm going to probably say first round around noon, if not a tad bit earlier. And then the second round possible a little bit later on around, we'll say 4 to 6. And that's just what we have based on models currently. I don't expect there to be much change, but some models do have this first round coming, and some hold off until mid-afternoon. So we'll have to kind of watch and how it evolves. But right now we expect 2 rounds, one around noon, and then one closer to 4 or 5.
I just got a report from Hopkins area. Now, this guy does live north of Hopkins, not in town. So maybe he missed it, but he was only reporting pea-sized hail for about 10 to 15 seconds. So I'm guessing he just narrowly missed this.
Yeah, there's no way that's only pea size. That's
No
gotta be,
way.
There's no way that's only pea size.
And this meso strength is still not showing me hail size, which is
Hail size on my end is 2.75 radar indicated, so I would definitely say closer to 2-inch size hail is falling there. Radar seems to kind of overestimate these types of things.
Right. That's still a big ice chunk.
All right. Monroe County, what's up, Christine? I see you on the page a lot there asking about how the lake is doing. Christine, Monroe County is in the enhanced risk for all hazards. Same goes for the entire state. Tonight, though, only a hail threat, if anything. Tomorrow, we're talking all hazards, including tornadoes, damaging wind gusts, and large hail. So, yeah, Monroe County is under the gun just as everybody else here in Michigan is.
I'm thinking my coworker got a little hail core just before this main one because he just was like, never mind, hold on a second. I think it's just now starting for him.
Interesting. Let me know what he says then. Michaela, the previous question for Van Buren County tomorrow. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Around noon be your first round, and then a little bit later on would be your second round if there's going to be a second round. Like I said, some models are kind of hinting at a first round, which we think there will be. But for a second round, that's going to be kind of, since you're so far west there on the lake, that second round may entirely miss you. But confidence is lower over there for sure. But I would expect a first round right around noon, give or take an hour or so.
Yeah, my coworker just sent me a video. A little bit bigger than pea-sized hail that he got. Unfortunately, I can't really share it because it's from iPhone to Android, so it just kills the quality of the video.
Gotcha. Christine, this storm currently you're looking at is taking place over in no, it's not Allegan County. Forgive me.
Yes,
it
it's
is
Allegan County.
It is Allegan. It's moving into Berry. It's moving. I'm thinking about Berry. It's moving into Berry County, just south of Grand Rapids, north of Kalamazoo, on the west side of the state.
Yes, Chandler and Alex are over in Illinois actually right now.
Yeah, they're currently live streaming, chasing the moderate risk. Tornado potential expected to increase here in the next hour or so. Tuscola, Kayla, that's where I first saw my first tornado up there, Tuscola County. That's expected a little bit later on, 2 to 3 for your first round, and then a little bit later, 6, 8 o'clock for your second round. Again, all hazards possible. Large hail, tornadoes, some could be strong, and then damaging wind as well. Is Saginaw okay for tornadoes? Well, it's really hard to pinpoint the exact areas for tornadoes. So we can't really say, oh yeah, Saginaw is going to get tornadoes, but we can communicate the threat that Saginaw is under the risk for tornadoes. Just because it is a risk does not mean it's going to happen. It just simply means there is a risk. And tomorrow happens to be a significant risk.
I'm wondering if there's a way I can change the text size.
You might be able to, having pro version.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Now people can see things. Here, let's get it even bigger. Yeah, that looks great. Now all the friendly people at home can see what we're actually talking about.
So that is a storm over there in Allegan County about to impact. Oh, let me pull right back up. Wayland. If you're in Wayland, time is up. The severe warning has been extended into Berry County.
Just now?
Just now. It is ping pong ball sized hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds from those downdrafts.
Wow.
If you are in Wayland, if you are in Middleville, Irving, Hastings, Carlton, Freeport, Woodland, Nashville.
There it is. Now just updated for me.
Get your cars protected if possible into garages or by your house. Outside in the open is not going to be safe for your cars. This is a 1.5-inch hail warning, but we could see isolated larger sized hail up to 2 inches, I would say. That hail core has re-strengthened just south of Wayland. If you're in Wayland, it appears to be impacting the south side. It's moving east-northeast. We'll say mostly east with a slight north direction at right around 35 to 40 miles per hour. Wayland looks like the south side will be impacted the most. That's actually moving toward Middleville and Irving. It's expected to hit those areas at 7:05. So in 30 minutes, it's expected to hit your area. I would actually argue it might be closer to 7:15, I would say. No, sorry, 7:05, 20 minutes away. My bad. That's on me. So 15 to 20 minutes away, Middleville, Irving. Get your cars protected if possible. Stay inside. You do not want to take a ping pong ball falling at 100 miles an hour on your head. So you have time now to get outside and get your stuff hunkered down. But within the next 5 minutes, I'd say get indoors and get yourself protected.
What is terminal velocity of a hailstone? It's a good question.
That is a very good question. I would look that up.
It's got to depend on how big it is.
I'm looking that up right now.
Because I believe that's what they're falling at.
No, actually, this thing says if it's less than 1 inch in diameter, it's falling at 25 miles per hour.
That's a lot less than I thought it would be.
If it's 1 inch to 1.75 inches, the expected fall speed is between 25 and 40. But either way, you do not want to take a ping pong ball traveling at not a ping pong. You don't want to take a solid ping pong ball. Might as well be a golf ball at this point.
Yeah.
You do not want to take that 40 miles per hour on the head. Hail has killed people. Hail has killed people. It is not something that's just going to be falling from the sky. Like, it does hurt people. It does kill people. If you guys watch Storm Chasers from Discovery Channel, there's a reason that Chris Chiddick wore MLB catcher's gear outside while collecting hailstones. There is no reason to be outside if you're in the path of this. Although I will say, if you're in Middleville, Irving, Freeport, Carlton, Hastings, there is time right now to get outside to hunker down your cars, anything else you want to protect. But in 5 or so minutes, Middleville and Irving, you need to be inside and you need to stay inside. I'm just watching radar here. How's Chandler and Alex? Should we get an update from them?
We can. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, we can get a quick update from Chandler and Alex. Do you want to page them real quick?
Yeah, we can go. I can go ahead and do that. But Christine, there is no storm currently heading for Monroe County. We're just kind of watching West Michigan now, but a little bit later on, there may be some storms for Monroe County. It's just at this point in time, there's nothing that's headed your way.
I'll page them real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Trying to see if Chandler will do an update. He hasn't responded yet. Maybe he did.
Yeah, we're here.
All right, you're on.
All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Right now, unfortunately, we don't really have anything cool or fun to report. Everything's kind of a mess out here. It's not really discreet. It's kind of a cluster. I mean, there's been a few decent looking wall clouds from my chase partner who's a little bit further southwest of me, but I mean, right now it's just not looking like it was earlier. We're kind of just waiting for the storms to figure out what's going to happen, if they're just going to turn into one big supercell and blast across Illinois, or what they're going to do. So we're just going to stay out ahead of this thing to the east. Yeah, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to talk about.
Chandler, I believe the models actually had these storms firing up between 7 and 8 o'clock Central Time, or sorry, Eastern Time. So, actually, he can't hear me, can he?
No, he can. You have to talk in Zello.
Let me talk on Zillow here really quick. Chandler, I don't know if you have the models pulled up, but I believe I saw Central Time right around between 6 and 7 that these storms really start to strengthen and become tornadic. Perhaps a little bit closer toward 7 and 8 o'clock.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, we're in perfect position. We're just, like I said, staying out ahead of these things while they get their act together. There's not really much else we can do right now. So that's really all it is. We're going to be riding over into the Peoria area here pretty, well, not pretty soon, but within the next hour or so. Really, we're just waiting to see if they strengthen and congeal into one and then just turn into one monster tornadic supercell, or if it just continues to be a hail fest like it is so far. Whatever the case, we're staying out in front of them. So,
all right, stay safe, guys.
Stay safe, guys.
Yeah, you bet. We're just kind of ignoring models right now because we're on the storm. So if it's going to do it, we're on where it's going to do it. So we're just going to hope and pray that it doesn't.
All right. Thank you, Chandler and Alex. We're going to switch back over to our radar again. Get back into town, a little closer to home. And watch this hailstorm come through. And really, there's not a lot of lightning that I'm seeing on radar here. There was some lightning over by Orangeville where there was some growth in the storm. But honestly, I haven't seen much lightning through this. It's just a big hailstorm. I'm going to ask Ryan, is that typical for these hailstorms, or do they usually have some sort of lightning effect to them?
So yeah, elevated storms, they typically do have lightning involved with them, just because there's probably elevated instability up there, which is fueling this, but it's not making its way to the ground. So usually there's some pretty good lightning in the upper levels, but very rarely do you have lightning strikes. Let me phrase that. There's very rare. Hold on. There you go.
You're good. Keep going.
Very rarely do we have these types of cells without lightning. Just because the updraft is actually, it's kind of hard to explain, really. I'm not an expert on lightning, but there's a lot of, we'll say, charge up in that updraft. So when you have hail cores like this, you actually have increased lightning potential. Doesn't mean that the storm is severe or it's going to be surface-based. It just means that there's a lot of energy up in the atmosphere.
So
like I said,
it is a little surprising that there's not more lightning in this then.
It is surprising, yes. I don't have the lightning map pulled up. I'm actually quite shocked that there isn't. Do you have your lightning pulled up on that, on your layers?
I have lightning pulled up, yes. I've got like 4 lightning symbols just north of Orangeville.
So yes, that is very shocking to me. I will say that. Usually, when you have these bigger size hail storms, you do have a lot of upper level lightning with those.
And I can quick do the. I mean, when it first made landfall, there was quite a bit of lightning, and ever since the past 3 or 4 scans, it has not produced much lightning at all.
So that ZDR doesn't look like it's dying just
No.
yet. Yeah, I don't think it's dying just yet, but a lack of lightning could indicate the storm is weakening, or it could be just cycling. So it might pick up again and it might strengthen, or it might be trying to die itself out. But right now, kind of hard to tell. I wouldn't say it's dying just because that ZDR updraft on the right side of your screen there, it's still red hot, meaning the updraft is very strong.
This right here.
Yep. Tiffany, are they expected to hit Michigan tonight or tomorrow? So tonight, across much of the state, we have a elevated hail threat. So I'm not going to say severe weather tonight is out of the question. As far as winds and tornadoes go, that's going to come tomorrow. With these cells tonight, they're going to be north of the warm front, meaning they're going to be in stable air on the surface at least. So what that means basically is these storms aren't going to be able to have damaging wind potential or tornadic potential. They have to be south of the warm front for that to happen. That's expected to lift north overnight, and that's how the unstable air mass comes over Michigan tomorrow morning into the afternoon hours. I will say damaging winds are a possibility, but they're going to be from downburst winds from this hail falling so quickly. But purely wind, not going to be an issue tonight. It's just going to be downburst winds, if that makes sense.
All right, looks like I can. Wow. One of the newer scans for the storm track is showing hail size 3 inches now.
Yeah, it's still warned for ping pong size, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's larger, closer to 2-inch in diameter hail. Ping pong is 1.5 inches.
Okay.
So I would not be surprised if there is closer to 2-inch hail in there. I'm going to hop back on Twitter and see if I can find anything.
Now, what warrants a warning? Is that 1 inch or bigger?
Yes, quarter size hail is 1 inch or larger. That initiates a warning.
Okay.
As far as wind goes, 58 miles per hour or higher than that, that's what warns for wind. Then obviously a tornado is tornado warning.
Again, Middleville, you've got a short amount of time here now. Probably within the next 5 minutes or less, you're going to be seeing this hail core. Irving as well. Fruitport, you still got some time. Carlton, you got some time. Lake Odessa, you got a decent amount of time as well. You can click on one of these storm tracks. It's showing, Irving around 7. Carlton, 7:16. Same with Freeport. Woodland area, you're probably going to see it just before 7:30 if it continues to track that way.
Salem Perry has a question. He wants to know, or they want to know, will there be a tornado in Michigan in night or morning? So tonight is very unlikely. When we get to the later morning hours, it is possible just because that's when instability starts to build. I don't think the tornado threat is going to be higher until we get into the afternoon hours. And that's, again, if we can destabilize, like I said, because there's some uncertainty there with how storms tonight will affect the atmosphere in Michigan tomorrow. But if there's going to be a tornado threat, it's going to be highest between, I'll say, noon and 8 o'clock tomorrow in Michigan. I don't think tonight will have a tornado threat at all. I do think that's going to be centered tomorrow.
Yes, I will be very surprised if we do not see a tornado tomorrow in Michigan.
Yeah, that's a pretty bold statement to make. I would agree with that. But again, there's the system I just want to highlight has big boom or big bust potential.
Yeah.
Because everything, and we mean everything, really is there for this to be a significant event. but there's still a big question mark there that could kill almost the entire threat. I think that even if the instability doesn't make it into Michigan, I do believe that there's still a very strong cold front coming through later in the evening out, or should I say about 4 o'clock on the west side and about 8 o'clock in the east side. When that cold front comes through, the winds along and behind that cold front alone could approach severe limits. So even if there are no storms or no severe storms, we will still probably have a higher end wind potential just from that cold front passing through because it's so strong.
Okay, I just got a picture. My mom shared a picture from Hopkins. They've got about, I don't know, grape-sized hail, maybe a little smaller.
Okay, that's not too bad, I guess.
That's not too bad. Somebody commented on the post, all of their cars have hail damage.
Oh boy.
So it is definitely a damaging hail-producing storm.
I'm going to go ahead and tweet out if anybody has pictures from the area. I'm going to go ahead and ask them to share them with us. I'm curious to see how large. There is a report of Spotter Network in downtown Wayland, 1-inch hail, and that's all it indicates. There's no message or anything.
Perfect.
So Middleville, Irving, you're up next. The hail core is about to impact you, so now is the time to go ahead and hunker down, stay inside. That's moving east-northeast, and Freeport, Carlton, and Hastings, you are up next. If you're in those three, if you're in Freeport, Carlton, or Hastings, you still have time now to get outside and move your vehicles, hunker down, protect what you can, if you can, and head indoors. You have about 5 minutes, I would say, of time to get in and out before you're in the danger zone. Again, we do not want people outside when the hail hits because this hail is large and it can injure or even kill you if it hits you on your head. You do not want to be hit by a golf ball at 45 miles per hour. That's just not ideal.
No, not at all. I would definitely be inside for this one. Not something I'd watch from outside.
No, not at all. If you guys have any questions about the setup tomorrow, or really just want to ask us anything about us or what we do here at MSC, let us know. Right now you're watching Chandler and Alex on the left side of your screen there. They are currently live from Illinois. They're in the moderate risk chasing, hoping for some tornado-producing supercells to come their way before sunset, hopefully. But right now they're repositioning into where they think the better environment is going to be. On the right side of your screen, you're looking at the radar for West Michigan, just south and a little bit east of Grand Rapids. In Berry County, we have a hail-producing supercell. No tornado potential at this moment, but the hail potential is pretty high with this storm, as that dumps about 1 inch to 2 inch size in diameter hail. Again, if you are in Freeport, Carlton, or Hastings, hurry up, hunker down. Protect your cars, protect what you can, and then get back indoors before the hail begins. You still have some time to get that done before you're in the danger zone. If you haven't already, we ask you to give this stream a thumbs up or a heart or a reaction emoji, as that helps the algorithm get us out there further. So if you want to do that, we'd really appreciate that.
And please share the stream if you are able. We do appreciate the shares. And then again, for people who are just joining us, we are also streaming on YouTube if you would like to watch on that as well. At youtube.com/MI Storm Chasers.
Yeah, so not much really going on outside of the storm and the chasing out there in Illinois. So again, if you guys have any questions or anything about us or about the severe threat tomorrow or anything in general, let us know. We'll be happy to answer those.
The new differential reflectivity is interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty strong there still on that huge end, the white area back there in behind where that hail core is at. That's just incredible. That's
this big area right here I'm circling.
Yep.
That is
area
a
right
very large hail core.
Probably reaching 1.5 inches at this point. I don't think it's too higher than that. It probably can reach 2 inches at some points. It's probably going to fluctuate between 1 and 2 inches, I would say. The warning, again, is for ping pong size hail or 1.5 inches and also 65-mile-per-hour winds. So
that this hail core is about 4 miles in diameter. At least.
Yeah, it's a pretty sizable hail core for sure.
Yes. And thank you, Rhonda, for sharing. We appreciate it. And if you are new to us, please hit that follow button for us. That we also really appreciate that.
We have multiple ways you can follow us. We have YouTube page, MI Storm Chasers is our username there. Obviously here on Facebook, and then as well as Twitter at MI Storm Chasers. We also have Zello, which is a walkie-talkie communication we have to communicate in the field. We have Patreon, which we do charge as small as a $1.99 monthly fee. We post detailed forecasts, explanations, do live Q&As on there, exclusive content, stuff like that. We do have that on Patreon. We're not going to charge you for posting forecasting. That could be life-saving. We're going to post that to Facebook as always. But if you'd like to support us and read a little bit more about us and more in depth about certain setups, that includes winter weather, severe weather, northern lights, aurora forecast prediction, stuff like that. Anything that really happens in Michigan, whether it's flooding or tornadoes, surveys, stuff like that, we all have that on Patreon. We did end up posting, or myself personally, I went ahead and went to Dundee. They got recently hit by an EF0 tornado, and I went ahead along the damage path and surveyed the damage and put together a little bit of a paragraph. It was actually not a paragraph; it was a few paragraphs, to put it simply. Included pictures of damage and stuff like that, and very, very detailed analysis of the tornado there in Dundee. I didn't post that to Facebook, post that to Patreon, but that's just a little bit of something that we do there on Patreon that we don't do on Facebook. So go ahead and plug that. We also have merchandise on Teespring. You can look us up on Teespring at Michigan Storm Chasers. If you want to get some merchandise, T-shirts, hoodies, hats, phone cases, stuff like that, that's all on there.
Yes, all that is in the description, or it's in our Facebook page, like about, or in all of our links. Excuse me.
Yes. And we also have a website. It's www.michiganstormchasers.com if you want to learn more about us, who we are as individuals, and what we do.
Yes.
So that's the gist of it. We are here in Michigan, growing rapidly. We love what we do. We are very passionate about what we do. And we just absolutely, again, we love weather. And we just want to make sure people here in Michigan stay safe. There's really no dedicated storm chasing weather page for Michigan. There's certain groups that I've seen on Facebook, but no official chase page. So I figured I'd go ahead and start it myself. And here we are at 8,000 followers later in a little less than 4 months. So thank you to all of you who support us and interact with us. Laura asks, where do you think tornadoes will be in Michigan? She's in Potterville. She hates storms. She's freaking out. And I feel that, Laura. So tomorrow in Potterville, so the entire state is under a severe risk for tomorrow. We're under the enhanced risk. So that includes all hazards from damaging winds, large hail, and potentially strong tornadoes. Potterville, in particular, is up by Lansing. That's about mid-central Michigan. We can say southern Michigan. So your first round of storms will be coming at you around 1 to 2 p.m., I'd say. And then that could have some tornadic potential, but I really think later on in the day, along the cold front, those storms will have the best tornadic potential. I do know that there have been some forecasts posted saying that the tornado threat is higher with the first round. It really is just going to depend on how much instability is there. And a lot of it is due to the wind shear as well. A little bit of a brief explanation. When we have a cold front swinging through, the winds closer to that cold front, we call them veering winds. They don't typically support tornadic supercells along that cold front. But in tomorrow's case, out ahead of that cold front looks best for tornadoes, just how the wind shear is positioned. So that's the argument making for an earlier tornado threat before that cold front gets through. But you call them hodographs, which is basically a measure of wind speed with height, and it draws like a little line with the wind with the height. If that makes sense. The hodographs do support tornadic potential through the evening along the cold front as well. So I think there could be 2 potential threats, but the first round is just going to be dependent. If it forms, will be dependent on how much instability is present out ahead of it. So again, 1 to 2, I'd say, Laura, in the Potterville area. And then a little bit later on, around 5, I would say for your second round, 4 to 6 to be exact. Yeah, Cheyenne, we really can't tell you where things are going to happen. It's not an exact science. All we really can do right now is communicate the threat. It's a risk, and risk can either happen or it doesn't happen. That's the risk. If tomorrow doesn't happen, there's probably going to be a lot of angry people on here saying, you guys hype this up, yada, yada, yada. I don't really see it as hype, because if the opposite happened and we didn't communicate enough, people would be just as upset. So
we'd rather tell you, get the warning out there.
Right. We'd rather explain the potential to you. And this potential for this day is very significant. This is a very high-end dynamic. It's forecasted to be a very dynamic day. So again, there is a fail mode if instability does not make it all the way up here into Michigan. There is a fail mode that may dampen or may hinder the severe threat altogether. If that happens, we will be sure to update the page. But as of right now, we're communicating this threat as if it is going to occur, because that is the safest way to keep people safe. I have seen that some schools are already pulling school tomorrow or letting kids out early because some of these storms could interfere with drop-off times. So that's something that we've also noticed. The SPC, who issues the severe weather outlooks, they've explained the severity of a lot of the local news stations are communicating this threat as well. So we're not the only ones who think today, or should I say tomorrow, will be a significant severe weather day. So just be prepared for severe weather tomorrow, but also keep in mind that there is some potential that this day could turn out to be what we call a bust, or not much happening. And while forecasting is not a severe exact science, we can definitely communicate those threats and risks to you, but we can't say whether they're going to happen or not, because that's what a risk is. We're just not sure at this point. There is enough model confidence, I will say. There is enough confidence in the models right now that Michigan will destabilize. There is not one model that I've seen this afternoon that has Michigan not destabilizing. So based on that alone, the severe risk, we should treat it as it will happen.
I just want to say we did just get an update for the severe thunderstorm warning. It's showing, oh, come on. It's indicating ping pong ball sized hail again and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Looking at the radar and the differential reflectivity here, it does look like the hail core split up. If you're seeing the same thing, Ryan.
Yeah, it did split there. Can you animate that?
Sure can.
I just pull up on my end too. I'm curious if that's downburst winds happening there and kind of spreading that hail core apart. No, not really. So yeah, still up to ping pong ball size hail possible in that. It doesn't appear to be weakening at all. Next county over in north I'd be concerned about now. But I'm about to go get something to drink here, Nick. I will give one more update here. Freeport, Carlton, you're up next. The hail core is approaching you very rapidly at this point. Lake Odessa, Clarksville, Woodland, you're next as well.
Yeah,
Nick,
sorry.
I'm going to go get a drink really quick. If you can take over for like 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's fine.
All
yeah,
right.
like you said, Carlton, Freeport, you've got these hail coming towards you. Let's see here. That's showing probably within the next 2-3 minutes. Woodland, you got a little bit of time left. It looks like Chandler and Alex have stopped for a second while Ryan's out for a minute. We are going to do an update with them. Can you hear me, Chandler? All right, it sounds like Chandler and Alex will do an update here in a little bit. Looks like they got a little bit of rain in their area. We can go check that radar over there real quick. Get all my radar in a row. Yeah, nothing really looks too spectacular there. I'm not sure exactly I'm not sure where their position is at this time. I know they were planning on going towards, where was it? They started in, I got to figure this out again. They started in Burlington. They were going to either head towards Monmouth or Roseville. They might have made it further than that. There they are right there. And they're in front of this storm. It looks like it's just not very well organized in there. Give us an update here. A little update on our hailstorm here. So yeah, north of Hastings here, you got the hail right now. Irving, it's just ending. Really ending soon. Looks like this is taking a more easterly track. Freeport might have a little bit of hail with them, but probably very small. Yeah, again with Carlton, you've got about, what time is it? Yeah, you got about 4 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. 5-ish minutes till you get the hail. All right, it sounds like Chandler and Alex are actually ready for an update. So we'll quick bring the radar over to them, and then I will get them set up here. All right, you're on.
All right. So right now, looks like Nick has Nick or Ryan has the radar up. I'm not sure who. We can not really see anything off to the west. We're not really in the best position right now. It's starting to strengthen, and there's reports I'm hearing from another storm spotter that there is now a rotating wall cloud on it. It seems to be organizing, but we are ahead of it to the north right now, so we will probably drop south to see if we can get a better view. Because right now all we have is rain in our way right now. We can't really see anything. So. Picture of it.
Definitely lower bases.
Yeah, so that's kind of all we're up to right now.
All right, thank you, Chandler.
Yeah, you bet. Oh, we actually do have a road option. I didn't think we did. So we'll go.
All right. You have a question from Knoxville, Iowa. Should I be worried? Let's go take a look at Iowa. Forgive me, I do not know the cities of Iowa very well, so I'll do my best to find the general location. If you have a general area of Iowa, you could tell me where it is so I can narrow down my searching. I should really figure out these cities of these other areas. Ha, Knoxville, Iowa, right here. Found you. You do have a severe storm coming your way, and it does have some pretty strong winds associated with it. Hail is definitely another threat with it. Let's take a look at the severe warning. Hazard of 2-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. Radar indicated. Impact would be people and animals outside will be injured. Expect the hail damage to roof, siding, windows, and vehicles. Expect wind damage to roof, siding, and trees. Again, this is just radar indicated, so it could be a little bit less. It could be less than 2-inch hail, but definitely not out of the question or not out of the realm of possibility. And you are still in that tornado watch until 10 p.m. Central Time.
Hey, we can come on for another update real quick.
Chandler is paging me about another update, so we're going to quick throw it to him. Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, you're on. So it's starting to wrap around. So we should, if it's going to tornado, we should have a tornado here in the next, 20 minutes or so. Right now we are diving south so that we can have a little bit better position. There's a lot of reports coming in of a wall cloud. From where we are positioned, we cannot see that. So we need to get south a little bit. Yeah, besides that, we should have something interesting here to show on stream in the next 20 45, 30 minutes or so, because it's pretty much coming right at us. So. Anyway, that's all.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Chandler and Alex. We're gonna head back home though. See what this storm is doing. We still have that severe warn. Gotta watch what I say here. Don't want to cause any panic. Yeah, we still have the severe warn for Berry County, I believe this is. Again, just strong hail. There is a little bit more lightning with this than we did before, so it definitely organized itself a little bit. Let's see if we'll updated the severe warn. It has not yet. Still updated as of 7:08 p.m. Again, ping pong ball sized hail, 60 mile an hour winds, wind gusts. Yeah, Carlton, you are just about to get hit with it. Woodland, you've got up until, I don't know, you got a few minutes yet, just a couple, not too many. I do expect them to extend this warning further to the east, more into the Lake Odessa, Sunfield. Portland might get in it, Eagle, Grand Ledge. Definitely get prepared for that. Yeah, radar is still showing a pretty large hail core right here. Heading towards Carlton. Woodland, Sunfield will get it eventually. With these updrafts, the storm was definitely staying for a while. We got a question, will there be more storms tonight for Allegan County? If you look off to our west here, you're not see any. If we do have any, I guess, Ryan, you can quick ask or answer that.
Yeah, I was going to pop in here and say we do expect some more storms to happen overnight, a little bit later on. Again, severe threat for hail, nothing more than that. Maybe some downburst winds from that hail, but nothing tornadic overnight tonight as expected.
And we also have a question. Romulus won't see anything until tomorrow, right? Like Ryan just said, we do still have the storm potential throughout the night. Again, what he said was hail would be the main threat, and then some downburst winds. Nothing tornadic
Yeah, nothing tornadic is expected tonight. But yeah, Romulus, yeah, you're under the gun too tonight. Basically, the entire state of Michigan is in a marginal risk, which is a level 1 of 5.
The entire Lower Peninsula, he means.
Yes.
We got to remember our friends up in the UP.
Yep, the UP is getting snow and ice. They are not getting warm weather like we are. So shout out to you guys up in the UP. You guys are braver and more tough than us down here.
Yes. The bridge trolls, they call us, or something. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I have. I'm not really a big Michigan terminology guy. Excuse me. I just ate, so I need to clear my throat here. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm not a big terminology guy here in Michigan. The bridge troll I've heard of. I've heard the UP people called the Yoopers. There's a group that I actually shared our forecast in earlier called the Yoopers.
That's the main one for up there.
Yeah, Michiganders. Like, there's a lot of terminology here in Michigan that's pretty. What's the word I'm looking for? Pretty funny, unique.
They're just fun names for us, right?
Yeah, fun names. So I heard Chandler say they may be on a storm coming up here next couple of half hour or so.
Yes, they said it's starting to organize. They were getting some reports of what did they say? Some sort of base forming, rotating base.
Okay, cool. So hopefully we'll have something to show here in the next couple minutes here, maybe a half hour out or so.
Yeah, and you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, they are on the move again.
Yep. One thing I do want to point out, though, if we go back to this cell in Michigan, if this continues its current track, Lansing, you are under the gun for significant hail, up to 2 inches. They just updated the warning text. Go ahead and click on that and see what they say. 1.5 inch hail and 60 mile per hour winds. So yeah, Lansing, greater Lansing area, Potterville. I know somebody was asking about Potterville about tomorrow earlier, but Potterville now is in the threat for hail and maybe some downburst winds.
And it definitely looks like this storm may be wanting to grow to the south. If we do a little loop here, maybe not. Maybe that's more just the inflow to it. Oh. We're definitely showing the differential reflectivity is definitely showing bright red on that southeast side of the storm. Ryan, are you done eating for a minute?
I am, but I'm about to get up and get myself a tissue here.
Okay.
Need to take a bathroom break?
I will here in a second. I also need another drink.
I do want to point out that this warning is now extended, and it's extended into Ionia and Eaton counties, as well as continuing for Barry. The warning is now for 1.75 inch hail. That is golf ball size, and also 60 mile per hour winds. So the damage threat is called considerable. That is a pretty significant wording there from the SPC there. Lansing, you are on deck. Sunfield, Grand Ledge, Potterville, Chester, Vermontville, Sunfield, if I didn't say that already, Portland, Eagle, DeWitt, West Metro Lansing area. You are under the threat for hail. Nick, give me 1 second. I'll go grab my tissues, and I will be back with you in about a minute, 2 minutes.
Sounds good. Very interesting. Take a quick look at the size of this hail core here. It is showing about almost 3 miles long. Going to the north, you get about 3 miles. To the east there, that is a pretty good sized hail core. So Carlton, you are in the middle of it right now. Woodland, you are up next. Lake Odessa, you are not, or you will probably see some of this hail. Sunfield, you are right in the crosshairs again. If you or anybody you know has any pictures of damages of any of the current conditions on this storm, please send it to us. Tag us in something. We want to know. Welcome back, Ryan.
What's up?
Oh, just telling the people that if they know anybody that's experiencing this storm right now, please let us know what they are seeing. Send us pictures.
Yes, please do.
Tag us and
Lansing.
stuff.
I'm concerned about Lansing now with that cell heading into the metro area there. We could be seeing some significant damage if that hail core doesn't weaken. And right now, there's no indication that it will weaken.
Not at the moment, no. I will be right back if everything's good on your end.
Yeah, if they want to talk, though, I'm not sure how to toggle that on and off.
Do you have the 4 windows on the bottom?
Yeah, I can just unmute them then, or what?
Or actually, do you have all the scenes on the bottom as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Use the one that's called Chasers Active.
All right, guys, this thing's really starting to look pretty nice on radar. We're currently
I don't see that.
about 4 or 5 miles. We're gonna have a really good view of this thing looking south. So if you guys want to throw our stream back up there here in a little bit, you can do that. For a good stream here in a little bit.
Oh, where are they? What radar do I use?
I would probably use DVN right there in Davenport.
Yeah. Let's get the velocity on there. Turn that off. Oh, yeah. Velocity's looking decent.
So, yeah, Nick, if you want to go ahead and take a break
Yeah.
here, I can handle things for a few.
Yep, I will be right back.
Yeah, so what you're looking at right now is the storm that Chandler and Alex are chasing out in Illinois, border of Iowa there. They have a moderate risk out there out west ongoing. So they're currently live chasing there. And then further in the on the west side of Michigan, we have a severe warning for a hail-producing storm that's heading right into Lansing in the next couple of minutes here. So we are live on YouTube and Facebook here, and we are also answering questions regarding the severe potential for tomorrow. If you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. Any questions you have really about us as chasers or anything in general, kick back, have a good time, watch some storms with us, and just have a good time really, and just keeping people in the path of these storms in Michigan currently safe. Right now, we don't expect there to be any widespread severe weather tonight, just hail-producing thunderstorms. Tornado threat's very low tonight, and that ramps up tomorrow morning. So anybody has any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments here. That cell out there in Iowa is looking better and better. The bright blue there on the right side of your screen there, that's a lot of inflow heading into that storm. So that's ramping up here and looks to maybe it might be isolated there as well. So it may have a chance to produce a tornado. And if it does, our chasers are going to be right there active. What's going to happen tomorrow in Michigan? Well, tomorrow we're under an enhanced risk, which is level 3 of 5 on the tornado, or on the severe threat. It's level 3 of 5. That could go higher depending on if the atmosphere destabilizes. What's going to happen is a warm front will lift north in the morning, sometime overnight, really. Tonight, it'll lift north. And then later on, the cold front swings through in the mid-afternoon and late evening time frames. As a result, the warm front will usher in an unstable air mass. We have moisture streaming up from the Gulf of Mexico. That's expected to combination of the warm front and the moisture will have temperatures in the mid 70s, low to mid 70s, and dew points in the mid 60s. As a result of those two, we'll have instability forecasted. It's expected to happen, but there is some fail modes there in regards to how much instability, or if we're going to get instability at all. What's happening right now in Iowa is going to have an effect on tomorrow's storm. So we're watching this closely, because if moisture gets cut off, if these storms head south into, say, Indiana or Kentucky or Tennessee, it'll block the Gulf moisture from getting up into Michigan, and that could lower the severe threat for tomorrow. So that is what's happening in Michigan tomorrow, Flint area. Timing wise, I'd say first round right around 2 and 3 o'clock. Second round a little bit later, around 6, 7, 8, probably closer to 6 or 7. But yeah, all hazards are possible, including tornadoes. Some could be stronger. The wind shear is oriented in a way where it's turning with height, so to speak. So we call it directional shear, and that's supportive of rotating updrafts. If we're still live here at 9:30 in about 2 hours, we can take a live look at some models and go over the new data as it comes out live. So if you guys want to see that, let us know. We can probably do that. I did plan to go live tomorrow morning. Personally, I'll probably be targeting the 127 corridor, currently based on model projections, but that's what we have going on. Pin conning, same exact thing what I just said. The entire state of Michigan is under a severe threat for tomorrow, for all hazards possible. Timing for pin coning, I gotta remember where that's at. Help me out. What county is that from? I'm gonna look on a map here really quick. I'm from Southeast Michigan, so I'm not really familiar with Northern Michigan, Central Michigan, stuff like that. So, okay, pin counting up there by Saginaw. Yeah, so your timing is gonna be a little bit later, maybe closer to 2 or 3 for your first round, maybe closer to 4 for your first round, and then a little bit later on for your second round, closer to 8. Looks like we lost Chandler and Alex's stream. Let's see if they can get it back up here and working. Their storm is now tornado warned, it appears. Go ahead and bring that up on my personal end here. I'm not sure they're on that storm yet or not. It's a bit further south than I think where they were, although they could be there. I'm not entirely sure exactly their location. Oh yeah, they are there. So they are on that tornado warned storm now as it heads toward them, and we should take their stream if they can get to their stream. Nick, I see you're back.
I
We
am
can
back.
get to their stream. It's now tornado warned.
And of course, their stream is lagging. Let's bring their live feed up. I'm going to quick get them on Zello.
Let us know. Hey Ryan, I think I'm in a really good spot here. We're gonna stay here until the storm starts to produce a tornado, and then we're gonna head towards that. But right now, the structure, we got nice warm influence and warm injury. I think this has pretty good.
We need to get further south.
They're saying warm influence.
This turns right. I mean, yeah. I think we can sit for a little bit, but then, yeah, we're going to see if this turns right. Then, yeah.
Oh, it just definitely turned right.
Yeah. Holy crap.
So you can hear now, Chandler and Alex are on a tornado warned storm in Illinois.
Oh,
Why don't we get down
it's
to
wrapped
oh,
up.
yeah. Is that in the airport?
Really as far away.
Nope.
We're gonna blow up their stream here a little bit.
I'm gonna go.
Try and show them as big as I can.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, later.
See you later. Good luck.
Thanks. So
They are getting into position at the moment.
Mix it with live.
So if you guys are tuning back in, we're almost in position on this tornado warned storm. It's starting to turn pretty good, and we're pretty happy with what we're seeing at the moment. So we're just trying to get out a little bit more ahead of it and be in a good place. Yeah, I definitely think we can sit in Lewiston for a
Yeah.
little bit.
For a little bit. It's still far enough away.
We actually might be able to get like right down in here.
Oh, yeah. Get a good view.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's only 10 minutes away. So.
Yeah.
I will switch my camera angle so you guys can see a little bit. Damn it. I hate you. This is me with the fucking with this. Just push it straight. Push. Okay. Guys. We'll find a better way to do this. Cut. Alright, so turning my camera was not going well. Wow. And this thing is a monster supercell. Absolutely giant.
Before you guys get too in depth on this, I do want to say that there's tennis ball size hail reported in Middleton.
There's a
Wow.
lot of
Again, Ryan, you can't talk to them on this. You have to do in Zello.
Okay, yeah, I forgot. That's my bad. I know.
That's
I'm new to
okay.
this.
That's okay. I did want to say real quick. About 3 minutes ago, they just updated the severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay.
We've got. Wow. Okay.
For now, we might need to jump a little south eventually
So
if it
the-
does turn right.
Severe thunderstorm warning at home. We have
Right.
tennis ball sized hail
A little bit, but not a lot.
and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
So that's good.
Looking at radar here.
Have options if it
I'm-
does do that.
I know it's not on the screen right now, but
Peek over that river
looking at radar
at this left here.
at the
and a half
times,
take that
I'll
upside
show it.
down a little bit.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, I want to just go ahead and point this out really quick. The updated warning text is 2.5-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So if you are in the greater Lansing area, we are tracking a storm with large, massive hail.
23.
This is going to be size of baseballs. So if you have cars that can be protected in garages, get them inside
about-
now.
7 or 8 minutes until we are in our position that we would like to be in. So for meanwhile, just gonna hang
Woodland,
out.
it just went through. If anybody from Woodland or anybody you know from Woodland, please give us reports if you can. Send us video, send us pictures. Sunfield, you are next in line for this storm. You also have Portland, Eagle, Grand Ledge, Waverly, DeWitt, Northern Lansing. Definitely, you are in the path of that.
Yeah, if you are anywhere where he just said in the greater Metro Lansing area, we advise you now to take shelter. It's hail. It's not tornadic. It's just hail, and it's very large hail at that. Tennis ball size has been confirmed on this storm. Tennis ball size will bust windows on your house and your car, will cause roof damage and siding damage and tree damage. This is not something you want to play around with. Get indoors. If it's safe, move your cars back into their garages or protect your cars. But if you are in the path of this storm, we advise you to hunker down and prepare for tennis ball. I repeat, tennis ball sized hail that has been confirmed near Middleton a few minutes ago.
Do not be outside for this. You do
Yeah,
not
do
want
not
to
be
get hit
outside.
by one of these.
Let me go ahead and pull my radar up here really quick and look at this. So if the hail core right now,
We lost you there, Ryan. All right, Ryan's having some technical difficulties. While Chandler and Alex are getting in position, I find this is important enough to show on our end here. We're going to get back over in the Grand Rapids area. Quick show here. So yes, Lake Odessa, you just had that hail core come through. Sunfield, you are next again. Coming in, it's going to start in the next 2-3 minutes. Eagle, around 10 after 8, maybe a little bit sooner. Grand Ledge. Ryan just lost Wi-Fi. So he's going to have to restart his Wi-Fi real quick. We're going to give him some time. Try to figure that out. We're going to quick come back over to Chandler's stream. And he just got word, confirmed tornado on the ground. Let's get back over to him. Oh, wow. Yes. Confirmed tornado on the ground.
He's driving up the back of it now, so he might be able to see something. But, I mean, for us, it's just going to be sit tight for us and wait for it to come over and see what it does. And if we need to drop south, we have a north-south option that we're about to be taking here. And there's a nice highway that we can run all the way over back into Indiana if we wanted to. Never going to see it in there. I mean, we have to be in the notch.
Ryan, looks like Ryan's back.
yeah, I don't know what happened. My Wi-Fi just completely shut off, but it looks like it's rebooted now. So
Right.
Yep. Chandler and Alex are on a confirmed tornado storm.
yep, I'm gonna go and pull my radar here so I can look at it with you.
It is.
I don't know where I left off on that last storm, but I just wanted to say you guys have some time there in Grand Ledge and Eagle to move your cars to safety. But north side of Lansing especially, and Lansing Metro in general, get your cars to safety and then head indoors and prepare for large
It's
hail.
like earlier
It can
this
be
morning with the elevated cell. If you get a
Yeah.
mature cell that then turns right and stays right.
All right, switching over here to their
I don't know
storm.
how that happens.
Ryan, are you able to present a radar scope for Michigan? I want to put a small radar on the bottom right if we can.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I can pull that up.
Tornado warning has been extended. Interesting to see the track of it. Yeah, so the tornado warning has been extended for our area now. We just got the alert on our phones. Or my phone is just slow and kicking in.
Rhonda, the tornado is in
Man, that's a
Industry,
monster.
Illinois, going towards Table Grove, Smithfield,
We don't see
Lewiston.
supercells like this in this part of
Lewiston.
Illinois very often. You guys, this is a giant supercell.
No, it's a new warning.
The box is up there,
That's
Nick.
my phone.
Okay.
So confirmed tornado warning.
It's a half box.
Yeah, I just gotta
Gotcha.
Just got to add.
Confirmed tornado located over Industry 10 miles southeast of Macomb, now east at 50 miles an hour, damaging tornado ping pong ball size
Okay.
hail.
I'm going to have
Tornado was
to
reported at
remove that
6:52 p.m. 5 miles
and put
east
mine
northeast
back
of
up. I
Fanda.
can't do two of them at the same time, unfortunately.
Okay, that's fine. I'll keep an eye on that cell and give updates as I can.
Yes, please. I'll also keep an update. I'll keep it on my phone as well. But again, the storm is in Illinois. If you heard Chandler say, they did just update the tornado warning hazard. Damaging tornado and ping pong sized hail. Weather spotters confirmed tornado at 6:52 p.m. Central Time. The tornado was reported 5 miles east-northeast of Fandon. Impact flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely.
Yes, sir.
The tornado will be near Vermont around
And it probably
7:05
will.
p.m.
We're in perfect
Central.
position to watch it cycle and see what it
Akiva
does.
around, or Apava, something,
I think.
Yeah.
around 7:10 p.m. Central.
Wow, dude, look at that backside. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yes, sir.
You can't see it on the screen right now, but I do have correlation coefficient on radar at the moment, and it is showing a pretty significant CC drop, what we call. I'm checking the diameter of that real quick, of that CC drop. The diameter probably is looking to be about, well, I want to say it's just over a mile wide on that CC drop. That's not tornadoes a mile wide.
Yes.
It's just
Yes.
debris
also-
has been around, has been indicated around a mile wide. If I'm
I
correct,
do
it's
want to
probably-
mention too, Nick, with that correlation coefficient, some of that could be hail as well, because there is a very big hail core in there as well. So that CC may be partially a tornado and also partially hail.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
Ryan's here to correct anything wrong I say.
Yeah, with it's kind of hard to differentiate at first if you're unfamiliar with radar, but sometimes the correlation coefficient product basically measures the size of what's in the atmosphere, which is why we use it to look at hail cores and also debris from tornadoes. It's how we confirm a lot of tornadoes as well. So on a typical correlation coefficient map, you'll see a bunch of red, and where things are bigger in the atmosphere, you're going to have a yellow, and if it's really big, you'll have blue, and sometimes it bottoms out completely to black. The black is what you get when you have very large hail. As you can see on the screen there, that blue, if it's more localized, centralized in like a circle, like a rotation, like a complete circle, it's usually a tornado. But in this case, that middle section of dark blue may be a tornado, but around it could be hail. So it's kind of hard to tell with that. But I will say with confidence, around that center blue is hail.
You guys can see now.
There
We
is
are
a-
just outside.
Yeah, I'm looking at reflectivity.
That is a beautiful cell there on there.
Yeah,
It's
wow.
weird or
If
not,
you-
but
If we direct your
you
attention
can see
to,
where we're at here. We're gonna step outside for a few minutes, so if you guys say anything, we probably won't hear you. Tim just sent me a picture. That's what they're looking at.
and this is in Illinois. This is just now crossing in between Industry and Vermont, Illinois. Pava, Illinois, heading toward Lewiston, Cuba, St. David, Banner, Canton, Gladsford. You can see Alex in front of the camera.
Yep.
Messing up the shot.
Come on, Alex. Good lightning there on stream too.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually. I'm going to. Give them the floor here a second as they're watching this.
This is currently in Iowa. Or
This
sorry,
is in Iowa?
Illinois.
Okay.
Illinois. This is Illinois currently in a moderate risk. We'll be live chasing also tomorrow in Michigan for the severe threat tomorrow. But this, what you're seeing on your stream here, is currently Illinois. The cell is currently tornado warned, and we have both Chandler and Alex on this cell awaiting it as it heads toward them.
Early for us in the year to be seeing them, but
Ryan, I see you still have the loop of
Alex, when was the last thing?
Michigan storm. Is there any updates you'd like to say to us about the storm?
Yeah, so it's still severe warned. The text of the warning, excuse me, the text of the warning still says that the hail is 2.5 inches in diameter. That's equal to baseball or tennis ball size, and that's going to be entering the Lansing metro area in the next half hour or so. So again, the path of that is DeWitt, Portland, Riley, Eagle, McCullen, Grand Ledge, and then North Lansing. If that turns right, which it potentially could, downtown Lansing could be affected by that cell here in Michigan.
It does look like we have Christopher Tobias coming up to that storm. It's possible he may be chasing that. Maybe we'll be able to see on Twitter any reports from there.
I believe we just got one on Twitter. Also, Jeff Petrowski, I believe, has confirmed that tornado on their cell. It's a little spin up there that Chandler and Alex are on in Iowa, not Michigan. But Jeff Petrowski, who is a popular chaser, has confirmed that tornado that Chandler and Alex are on out there in Illinois.
Illinois, yes.
I keep saying Iowa.
I don't know what that was, but we're going to mute that real quick.
Sounds like the radio in their car.
Oh, does he have his CB radio on?
Probably.
Oh, I hate that thing.
Okay, so we do have some pictures on Twitter now that people are sending in to us. Looks like golf ball to... Well, let's go ahead and say golf balls. A little bit bigger than golf balls right now. Can we share that somehow to the stream, I wonder?
If you want to pull up our Twitter on your present, I can show that real briefly.
I can try that. Give me 1 second to pull this up. I don't have permission to share, but I will share with their account on there, so you'll get proper credit. I'm not sure I should do that, or should I get permission?
I think us showing who tweeted it will be fine.
I'm thinking so too. I don't want to rip anybody's. This is going to be full credit to them.
Yep, we'll show it as their picture. It's not like we're reposting it.
Right. We can retweet it as well on our Twitter.
I think in the live sense, I think it's more okay to just showcase it live.
Right.
Looks like their storm is cycling where they're at the moment.
Yeah, that storm is so beautiful out there in Illinois. All right, so I found the tweet here. Let me go ahead and pull this up.
Some beautiful lightning on Chandler and Alex's storm. Oh yeah, here's the tweet. We're gonna do a full screen layout of that real quick. That's not small. Ryan, I don't know if you're talking. I don't know if people can hear you.
Sorry, my microphone was muted. It's about golf ball size there from Hopkins from @Zach Harig on Twitter. name is up there in the top right there where I'm circling with my mouse. But yeah, that's about golf ball size hail there. So thank you, Zach, for sending that in to us. Just goes to show you that this storm is actually producing severe size hail, and that is well above a quarter size. That can damage cars, bust windshields, the whole nine with that, even damage your siding and your roofing as well. So thank you, Zach, for sending that in to us. We're going to go ahead and retweet that.
Yes, that was in Hopkins too. So
Yep,
that's about what radar was indicating. A little less, but that's good size.
You want to take their stream, Matt? Go for it.
I do. This one right here. Chandler is begging us to share.
Yeah, let them go ahead and go full screen or most of the screen. That'd be good.
Yep, we got it. I got it covered.
Is that a wall cloud coming in the frame there, or is that just a rain-free base there? That's beautiful, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, it looks great. I'm
Yes.
glad they've got some good. They've got some good cell signal there.
Okay, before we go to them fully, I do want to say the warning is now updated to include Lansing over into Williamston. East Lansing is included. Holt, Diamonddale, Potterville, DeWitt, and Lanesburg. You are now under the gun for golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. The storm looks to be weakening slightly. It looks to be hitting the north side of the Metro Lansing area in the next 20 minutes or so. So if you live in the Lansing Metro area, take shelter now. And if you do have some time there in Lansing and DeWitt and points eastward, to move your cars to their safe spots in the garages or out of the way from flying hail. Against buildings are good, but against your house, carport, stuff like that, just protect your cars and protect your valuables outside from hail. And that is a beautiful cell.
Yes. Ryan, would you like to answer Tabitha's question?
Tabitha,
Let's move.
Before you answer
mute
that,
them.
Chandler and Alex are actually you muted them. They're going to start heading southeast, trying to get a visual on the storm that is in Illinois at the moment. But go ahead, Ryan.
So Tabitha asks, so is the storm that's supposed to arrive Wednesday, or is that still coming? Yes, it is still coming. We're going to be watching models here in the next hour and a half. At 9:30 or so, we're going to have the HRRR model, which is a pretty trusted model, come out. And then at 10:15, we'll have more models, the NAM 3. They'll come out a little bit later to give us some update. But as of right now, nothing has changed from our forecast at noon today. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. Scroll back on our page. We explain it very, very well in detail there. But the entire state is under severe risk for all hazards tomorrow. So, yes, it is still expected to hit. There are some fail modes that could prevent a significant severe threat. But the environment is forecasted right now to be conducive to severe weather. So, yes, it is still happening. Nothing has changed with that.
Perfect. This cell looks interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, the Illinois cell there where they're at is looking very prolific. They're going to be right there in good position, so we should be getting a visual on at least a wall cloud here shortly with Chandler and Alex there.
Speaking of them, we should probably unmute them now.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I forgot about that.
It's all good.
We should be staged perfectly.
post screen on our stream.
So,
Okay, cool. We are repositioning. We're doing kind of a little horseshoe right now. The way it's going on radar, we should be able to just get in front of it and intercept. Maybe not 0 meter because we don't believe in that necessarily. However, it doesn't look as high precip as it did a while ago, at least on this tail end part here. And so because of that, we are going to try and be a little bit more aggressive with our chasing at this point in time. We still have about 20 minutes before it's on top of us. Minimal.
Sounds like we lost him there.
Yep, but as you can see, if you can see on the radar on the left side of the screen, I do have his chaser dot indicated right here.
Yeah, he's approaching that hook very, very rapidly there. So they're going to have a good visual here in the next 20 minutes, like he said. So we should be getting some really good shots here.
Yep, that tornado will be right here in this notch. If it's still on the ground.
Yep.
That tornado warning is expiring in 18 minutes. Yeah, this is still the initial, or I guess this was last updated at 8:04.
So 8 minutes old.
Yeah, and it looks like we just lost Chandler and Alex on the stream.
That is significant rotation.
Oh
That's
yeah, you can see
significant.
it again.
They're probably going through a dead zone. Look like they were in kind of like some tree-lined areas.
Yep, I'm gonna let them know that we lost them.
Yeah, they should be back up here shortly once they get out of that little area there. But right now, this cell is in Illinois currently. We have Chandler and Alex from Michigan Storm Chasers closing in on the cell. It looks like it might have a tornado on the ground. Kind of unsure at this point. It does have a history, of producing a tornado. And like I said, Chandler and Alex are both closing in on that cell. We have their little dot there pulled up just to the east of that little hook there. So we'll have to get them back on here shortly. But as of right now, it looks like we're going to have a pretty good shot here once they come back on live.
Yes. Switching back a little bit closer to home, looking at radar. Well, we can. Let's get rid of that. It does look like the cell for us is weakening. Maybe not.
Yeah, that looks like it's strength. It looks like the hail core, though, has diminished, but the ZDR, which is your updraft strength, looks very prolific there still. So I don't think this is about to die. If it does die, I'll kind of be shocked. But that ZDR there, which is the updraft strength, is still bright red, indicating that this cell is very healthy still.
Yes, this storm track dot is indicating hail size of only a ½ inch now. Nice train.
Oh, you can hear that? Cool.
A little bit.
Microphone is good then.
Quick change to this. Yeah, their correlation coefficient is still showing hail in that area. Grand Ledge, just south of Eagle. It does look like this is trending more straight towards downtown Lansing.
Looks like it's trying to turn right there. Bringing this back up here. Go ahead and loop it forward. Spread. It's a eagle. If you look like it's right over Eagle, and it looks like an eagle. You see the wings up there on top, and then the little head poking out. That's literally a classic supercell. That is interesting, but it looks like it's going to head right into the downtown Lansing area. The good news right now, though, is the hail looks to have subsided I'm only on correlation coefficient on my end here. Let me go ahead and pull this up.
just
Just a little bit between is it Mulligan and Grand Ledge there, just south of Eagle. Some hail there moving in toward Waverly into downtown Lansing. But right now, it looks like the prolific hail, significant hail, has subsided. So that is good news for Lansing. But that doesn't mean the threat's over. It's still entering Lansing, so it could re-strengthen. Updraft strength looks very promising, but we'll have to see how this evolves. It might be ready to split too. So we'll have to see how this storm evolves. But right now, it looks like it's weakening on the hail side of things.
I've never seen a severe thunderstorm warning that expires in an hour and 14 minutes.
It's pretty common in slow-moving storms, actually, especially over this kind of wide area. It's not uncommon, but usually you get them for 15 to 45 minutes at most. But yeah.
That looks exactly like an eagle. That's pretty crazy.
It does. It really is interesting. Chandler's back texting. I'm not sure if you saw that or not, but
I see Alex on there. Okay. Hopefully we can get them back on the stream.
Yeah, they should be working on it right now since they have service. So
expect
them back. That ZDR scan looks really healthy still, so I'd be shocked to see this thing die out. I think it's just cycling through.
Yes. Hail still indicated. I guess this is an old storm track.
If you go on the CC, you can kind of see the hail core there in the CC.
Yeah. Right here.
And any of the 35 of you guys watching here, if you have any questions about what's happening tomorrow or just in general, let us know. We'll be happy to answer those. Come on, Chandler, where are you?
Trust me, service out there is spotty.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think he should have his Wi-Fi extender out there. How's it coming out there? Are you able to get back on stream?
And I don't know how to do it without looking at it. I'm trying to get us in front of this thing in prime position here. We need to pull over and get it. Alex doesn't know how to do it, and I don't know how to do it without looking at it. I'm trying to get us in front of this thing in prime position here. I want to go about another 5 miles and then stop so we can look at it and then potentially get further north. So you're going to have to wait about 5 more minutes and then we'll be good.
Okay. Sounds like Chandler is about 5 minutes out from being able to get the stream back up. They're trying to get in position for the storm, so they're not able to get on the computer and share their stream again. So we'll keep you updated here on the Michigan side of things. Again, Grand Ledge, you are getting that hail core. That's heading towards Lansing. Haslett, we'll see it soon. DeWitt might get it. Lorinda, you ask what time severe weather will be tomorrow in the Plainwell area. If I remember correctly, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong. It's going to be in the afternoon or mid-afternoon-ish, around like 2 maybe. Ryan, if you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Am I correct in saying that, or did you not hear me?
No, I was busy looking at that Lansing cell. What'd you say?
Lorinda is asking what time severe weather is going to be tomorrow in Plainwell.
Okay, so Plainwell, 12 p.m. at the earliest. We could have 2 rounds. Around 12 would be the earliest, and then again, a secondary line coming through. The west side of Michigan, from we'll say 131 to the lakeshore, is most uncertain with the second line, just because we're unsure where these storms are going to form. But if there's a second line that's going to impact Plainwell, it'll be probably closer to 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So potentially 2 rounds, potentially 1 round. Just kind of depends on how these models play out and how the atmosphere plays out. Looks like that cell there in Lansing is starting to increase with hail again, and it's heading right in toward the North Lansing metro area. Let me go ahead and pull up my radar again. Looks like it's heading right. It's over Grand Ledge right now, heading into Waverly. It looks to impact downtown Lansing at this point. It looks to be strengthening as well, so not a good look here for Lansing. So the storm did cycle through. It kind of weakened a little bit. Updraft remains strong, and now it's regaining strength. So if you're in Lansing, go ahead and hunker down. It doesn't look too big right now. It looks about 1 inch max in diameter. So if you're in, but definitely take your precautions if you're in Lansing for some large hail. Definitely for some large hail.
We are still trying to get Chandler and Alex back up on the stream as they're chasing out in Illinois. Lorinda, thank you for the stars. We appreciate that.
So Chandler just came across Zello, and he said that they have a good view of the storm out in Illinois. So he said be ready to share that once he comes back on here.
Yeah, he says he's in prime position to get great views of the storm, and so we're hoping he can get that on here soon. I see a question about how bad will Pullman get hit. If you're talking about the storm now, let me look on the. If you're talking about tomorrow, like Ryan has said before in the stream, you might not have been here. The entire Lower Peninsula is in the enhanced risk for severe storms, and that would be damaging wind, hail, and possible tornado as the main threats. As far as pinpointing where and when these will happen in the Lower Peninsula, we just don't know. It's just something we're going to have to see when it gets here, I guess. I'm going to go back down here to the tornado warning storm that Chandler and Alex are on. Get a quick, good view of this. Oh, yeah. That's looking pretty. That is a great view. Let's see if we can't find his chaser dot. There he is, just west of Topeka, Illinois. And he is in prime position to to see this hopefully beautiful tornado. We're still waiting on him to come back onto the stream. Hopefully he can get on. We have him on Zello right now saying that if he does see this, it's going to be great. Not to hype it up too much. One thing I will say, some people who might not know, is if you're wondering what all these dots are on my screen, all these dots are active chasers on what is it called? I guess these are all like certified storm spotters, and they are all chasing the storm. I mean, you can see these main freeways here. If I zoom in, I mean, there's 4 up here. There's a bunch of people out there, very busy.
Nick, that tornado is on the ground now. It's a very, very tight couplet there. It has a very good CC drop on it. So it's radar confirmed now. I'm looking on Twitter to see if we can share any pictures of it.
Yes. I can see the CC drop on it right now. I really want Chandler to get back on here.
Yeah, they're going to be right there on it. So
can you see their dot?
It's a very, very strong couplet. I do not see their dot.
They are just west. They're the only dot west of Topeka. I have it on the radar right now, on the screen right now.
I'm on Twitter. Give me 1 second to toggle back over.
No, that's fine. You're fine. Not everybody has 2 screens.
I don't see it.
Right here.
Okay, so they should be able to see it at this
They
point.
should be able to see it right now.
Come on, Chandler, get us a picture. Is Chandler driving or is Alex driving?
Chandler's driving. Alex.
So Alex, we need to get Alex to send us a picture then.
Come on, what are you seeing?
That couplet just got extremely strong. So that might be a significant tornado on the ground. The parameters for that are very, very, very tight couplet on that. And gate to gate looks to be low 100 knot velocity. So we're talking potentially EF2 plus with this tornado. Of course, we'll have to see what kind of damage it does to indicate. But wind speeds on radar right now are indicating this could be closer to EF2 plus range. This is in Illinois, by the way. This is not in Michigan currently.
Yes.
Currently in Illinois, we do have chasers on this storm. We should be getting their live feedback here any minute. We're waiting on them to connect back with us.
Oh, this is driving us nuts.
So Alex just tweeted into the Twitter group chat that they're getting in position. Sent a picture. It's a beautiful mesocyclone. I don't see a tornado. All I see is a rain shaft, but it's back in the rain. It's probably rain wrapped at this point. So we'll have to see, how close they can get to it with being safe and getting a visual on it.
Yeah, that CC drop is definitely showing rain wrapped.
Yeah, it's pretty tight rotation as well. So this storm in Illinois is heading east with a slight northward curve. So east northeast. The speed of it, I'm unsure at this point. I'm currently looking at Lansing radar. Give me a second. Speaking of which, Lansing looks to be in the clear now. The storm took a left turn and is heading toward DeWitt. So if you're in DeWitt, you're in the path of up to 1-inch size hail. So take shelter if you're in DeWitt or anywhere around that area.
Yes.
As for Illinois, let's toggle back over to this. Storm speed is 45 miles per hour east-northeast heading into Peoria. South side of Peoria now could be in trouble. We need that stream back up because this could be big for Peoria.
Where's Peoria?
Directly northeast in the
West
path.
Peoria. Oh, I see.
South Peoria is in trouble.
Yes, it is currently in St. David, heading towards Banner, Glassford, Pekin, South Pekin. You've got Marquette Heights, I saw. Hollis, Kingston Mines, that area.
Yeah, that CC drop just got deeper.
And it
It just got
shifted
deeper,
more north.
indicating that this is a significant tornado on the ground. So can I toggle my screen real quick so I can talk about this on my end?
Go for it.
All right, let me go ahead and share my radar scope screen. Let me go ahead and dive into this.
Yep.
All right, I'm currently sharing. If you want to take my screen.
You got it. It's on you.
All right, so this is your classic supercell look. Go ahead and toggle back into my radar scope. All right, this is a classic supercell look. We have the inflow notch. Go ahead and pause this right here. So your inflow notch of surface winds feeding into the supercell going right into that notch. RFD wrapping around that. As a result, mesocyclone takes shape right about here. We go ahead and toggle back to velocity. The green meaning the red is indicative of a intense rotation. So I'm a little bit ahead of where that tornado is, but if I take this off and zoom into Bryant, you are about to get hit by a tornado. That is about a moderate intensity of a couplet there. Nothing significant at that point, but still a tornado on the ground there heading into Bryant. Crossing
Chandler
this
and Alex
highway.
just got a stream back up for us, but continue.
Okay. So Bryant, if you're in St. David, Banner, Kingston Mines, Pekin, South Pekin, Hollis, Glassford, Manateo, or Manado. And then again, Liverpool, it looks to be in the clear down here, but if it could take a right turn and head toward Liverpool, you are in the path of this tornado. It is currently on the ground. One more thing I want to cover here, CC drop, and you can see the blue right there, right over the correlation of the velocity. That is your damage, your debris being lofted into the air. It doesn't look like it's lofting too high, but still a tornado on the ground, very dangerous situation. And this supercell is heading into Peoria, Illinois within the next half hour to an hour. Peoria right here, heading into the south side of Peoria in the next half hour, I'm going to say, moving 45 miles per hour. This is going to be a significant, it's actually headed right into Peoria, downtown Peoria. So if you are anywhere from downtown Peoria and south, this supercell is producing a tornado heading right into the metro area. Chandler, if you want to take Chandler's stream, go ahead.
Yep, there was just a beautiful lightning in Chandler's stream. I just saw it just for a brief moment.
That is a beautiful mesocyclone.
Oh my goodness. I wish
that is a beautiful wall cloud.
I'm going to unmute them.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, we got you guys back on. You guys are live, unmuted.
I just don't see it in there. That's why I'm like, where is it? I mean, I should be able to see this thing.
Yeah.
Why can I not?
It is very rain wrapped right now.
Man, it's because we're seeing the notch we're right down here. That's why.
But we should
Right.
still be able to see up in there.
Unless-
We've got a perfect.
I know.
We got a perfect view of it. That's what I don't understand.
Unless there's any type of precip that's kind of in front of it. So you
Which
look right
there
by
could
St.
be.
Yeah, you look right by St. David.
Yeah.
It's blocking that area right down there.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we can get out ahead to the northeast.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, I know. We're just following it right now. So much for bust.
So much for bus.
Rhonda's got an interesting question, Ryan. Is it true to open windows during tornado? Does that help?
So that I've heard, I'm not entirely sure on that. I believe it is a myth. I've watched a few YouTube videos on it from engineers, their standpoint of it. Opening your windows, there's something with the pressure. It's not a significant way to protect your house or anything like that. Wow, that was beautiful lightning there.
Did they just about get struck?
I don't know.
I don't know because we got this up here.
No, they
looking
sound
right down
okay.
there.
Okay, they're okay. that was a bit of a.
Why not, Alex?
Right.
That was a bit of a scare
It
there.
might be
But no,
recycled
Rhonda,
with
that
this RV
is
trench behind it.
That's what I was thinking.
that's
It
a
looks
myth
me like
to
it's
open your
straining
windows.
method.
It
Like,
doesn't really help at
there's
all.
one back there.
It's handing off.
They
Yeah.
actually did
They just issued a new,
a
bigger
myth,
tornado
like a
warning
test on
now.
that or hurricane.
Okay,
It might
we
have
gotta
been one of
get
the
rid these
two.
trees.
Confirmed large, extremely dangerous tornado located near St. David, Canton, moving northeast 45, heading towards just outside of Peoria.
Ryan, you were right though. You said these cells were going to start organizing and getting their stuff together around 7.
Yeah, 7 o'clock Central Time. That's when I really thought the environment would become conductive for these. So that looks to be coming to fruition there.
And that was crazy to see though, because when we were first showing the storm, there was just kind of scattered. There were some cells everywhere, and it kind of just merged all into one.
Sorry, I'm posting something on Facebook about our live stream here as they close in on that cell.
Yep, that's fine. Are you? Trying to find their chaser dot. There they are.
Looks like we lost their stream again. Hopefully we don't completely lose it.
I hope not. That's not something that we need to deal with.
They should be getting better connection though as they head towards Peoria. It's a bigger city there that should have connection. But to repeat what's going on here, this is a tornado warned cell currently in Illinois, heading into the Peoria metro area. The warning, I believe, is confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado. The tornado is on the ground just west of St. David, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. It will reach Peoria in the next half hour to an hour.
And we did lose.
And it looks like we just lost their stream as well. We'll work on getting that back up here. Looking at the warning text, trying to pull this up real quick.
While you're doing that, I'm looking at the storm here that just passed Lansing, and that storm has weakened significantly.
Good. So weather spotters did confirm that tornado on the Peoria cell. It's a PDS, large and extremely dangerous tornado. So that is a confirmed tornado that Alex and Chandler are both on currently. We're going to work on getting their stream back up very quickly for you guys here.
I just switched our radars over, Ryan. Just showcase.
Is that my radar or your radar?
This is mine.
Okay.
Just to showcase the reflectivity and correlation coefficient. Let's take a look at the velocity scan.
Kind of broaden out there. If you zoom in there, there's still a very tight couplet right there. That is your tornado right there.
Right there.
Yep.
And you can see that with this ball kind of right here on the radar. You can see where my cursor is. And then these getting brought into it. It did just update, they just updated the tornado warning about 5 minutes ago. I think Ryan just said something about that. Yeah, PDS, particularly dangerous situation, take cover now, damaging tornado.
This is heading into the Peoria metro area, so hopefully this lifts and weakens before it gets to Peoria. That's a pretty big populated area there. And there was a confirmed, again, large and extremely dangerous tornado. It appears that our stream has went down currently. We're working getting that back up.
They might not know.
Yeah, I'm going to text them real quick here. They should be working on that, but all right, they should know about that. All right, so they're aware of their stream being down. They're going to be working on getting that back up. Again, this is a confirmed tornado. If you want to take my radar, my screen.
You're on.
All right, cool. So you're looking at the supercell currently. Zoom out here. Peoria, Illinois, right here. Supercell heading right into the South Metro area. If we zoom in here, we can kind of see the inflow notch. You can see the inflow notch as surface winds are going right into this little notch there. RFD from the storm is wrapping around. As a result, you have a rotation. Little mesocyclone back in here that spins and spins. Look on velocity. It's actually a bit further up here. But that is a confirmed tornado just south of Canton moving northeast. This is Illinois. This is not Michigan. This is Illinois again. Canton, Illinois. I know there's a Canton, Michigan, so don't get too stressed out if you live in Canton. That risk may come tomorrow, though. But for now, this is Illinois. We have chasers on the ground right below this storm. So we are going to be watching this very carefully as it heads into Peoria. Again, confirmed large and dangerous tornado on the ground there.
And if you look, sorry to interrupt, but they just got back online.
Okay, cool. If you want to take their stream, go for it.
I do. Let's get that switched out there. Get this all figured out again. There's Chandler in front of the camera. And unfortunately, their cell reception is not the best.
Beautiful mesocyclone, though.
Beautiful. He did say in the group chat, it's wrapped currently trying to do a meso handoff. No, I'm not sure what that means.
So basically a handoff means it's trying to cycle through and it could shift where the tornado is at. Sometimes it'll lift and spin up somewhere else. So that's basically what that means.
Okay.
Storms tend to cycle every 10 to 15 minutes. Some don't cycle at all. Some cycle through. What that basically means is while one updraft dies or one downdraft dies, or mesocyclone, should I say, dies, another one will take shape.
And a quick update here from the severe storm that was in Michigan. They just canceled the severe warning a little bit ago. That cell is dying off. I don't see it being a threat anytime soon again.
Okay, good. That threat could come up later again tonight with more severe hail-producing cells in Michigan. But again, damaging wind and tornado threat comes in tomorrow. If we have some time starting at 9:30, we can start looking at some weather models live and dig into analysis while like real-time data as it comes out. But at this point, we're going to focus on this cell here in Peoria as it heads into the city. So what you're seeing there on stream is the mesocyclone or the rotating updraft. There should be a tornado back in there, but it's currently rain wrapped. There is, we'll go ahead and look on radar here. There is a confirmed tornado still just to the east. To the east southeast of Canton. The CC drop is still there, as well as a tight velocity couplet indicating strong rotation.
Now, did that couplet just shift south?
It did. This is what a handoff is. So he was right about that. So the couplet is now southwest of Banner, moving into Banner at 45 miles per hour. So if you are in Banner, Kingston Mines, Glassford, Hollis, Pekin, South Pekin, take your safety precautions now. That tornado is still on the ground and is a very strong couplet.
If I could direct your attention to the radar on the left-hand side of the screen, I'm going to cycle through these frames. You can see as from 8:30, you can see the couplet here in Bryant. And you can see the handoff in action right there. As it was in Bryant and shifted down to just south of Banner here.
Yeah, we just need a little kick.
Now with that handoff that just happened,
Yeah.
sorry, 1 second. Go ahead, Ryan, if you want to talk about it.
Take my screen then. So this supercell is to the southwest of Peoria. Let me go ahead and hop back into my radar here. Looks
Yeah,
like
you want to share your radar again? Sorry.
I can, yeah. Oh, I didn't even know it was. I thought it was still up. My bad.
Yeah, it quit.
I'm gonna pull this back up here. How do I? There it goes. All right, am I good then, or what? Because I'm not seeing it to the stream. Okay, there it goes.
Next cycle.
We still want to beat the conga line too.
Where'd my fucking hair go?
So this tornado was on the ground. Doesn't look like it is anymore. Actually, maybe it is, actually. Let's go ahead and dive into this really quick. That is a hail spike, it appears. Nope, that is a hail spike. So your rotation down here by Banner is about to hit town there. Moving again northeast at about 45 miles per hour. Kingston Mine, Glassford, Hollis, Pekin, Marquette Heights, Groveland, Tremont, South Pekin, Dillon. You are under the gun. So take your safety precautions now. This tornado was confirmed. I'm not sure if it's on the ground anymore. So just go ahead and take your safety precautions at this point.
Thank you, Ryan.
I mean, maybe.
Chandler, if you want to go ahead and give us an update. Chandler, if you want to go ahead and give us an update.
Yeah, so we are currently blasting to the east. It's trying to wrap up right in front of us right now. Unfortunately, it's not wrapped up, and we're going to get run over by us, so we got to go. I'm going to hold this road paved all the way to Manito. And then there's another paved road outside of Manito that I will take to kind of run with this for a little bit. And eventually we'll get over to 29 and then run 29 up a little bit closer to Peoria, or maybe even eventually 55, but that's probably a long ways out.
Yeah, the new tornado warning, it's tightening up.
Yeah, it has, since there's a new tornado warning, so I won't talk my window down. There's a new tornado warning on it. We are probably staying parallel with it. I wouldn't say we're getting back ahead of it by any means. We are a little bit south of it currently. We do need to get a little bit further north. It's just, we'll see if there's a road. Plus, it is getting very dark, so we gotta really start being careful here. So.
Don't worry, that lightning will light your way. Thank you, Chandler. So again, this is the tornado warning is heading towards Peoria, just south of Peoria, so towards Hollis, Beacon, South Beacon. Radar is showing, especially in this latest scan that we just got, I'll show definitely some rotation tightening back up again. we do have some people, quite a few people on this road that actually just got that the storm just crossed over. Hopefully they are all right. We'll see if their spotter dots keep moving. Hopefully they're all right.
Yeah, so that must not have been that wedge. That must have just been a rain shaft that we saw.
Yeah, it's tightened up a lot more since.
All right, so now the plan is to not get rolled in these 3 miles. Work for you?
Good plan. Works for me.
I just feel like if it was there, we would see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's tightened up, but it's still relatively broad.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything on the ground right now. But it could drop at any time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this new radar scan is definitely showing some organization with this rotation. We're actually going to do this. Get velocity on here, reflectivity on here. Hopefully people can see this all right. Yeah, look at that classic hook in the storm there.
It might be trying to recycle.
That's kind of what it looks like. That southern end is pretty interesting.
It is.
I mean, you can't get any more classic than that.
No.
Oh boy, it's dark on that stream. Looks like we're going to be looking by lightning.
Yeah, and if something were driving, we'd see it.
Yeah, it would be pretty hard to miss.
Right?
Considering our position,
Right.
it would be pretty hard to miss.
Yeah, there's your wall cloud, I bet. That lowering right there.
You think so?
And the newest scan, the rotation is definitely tightening up again.
More back in there, just
This
based
is
on
the hook is reminding me of
based on the
tornado around Memphis, Tennessee last week.
the rotation's back kind of farther in there. So I was thinking it'd be right there, kind of where that
Very
hole
classic
is.
tornado shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's true. Heading east.
Power flash? What the fuck was that?
Was that a power flash?
It was something.
Language.
Ow.
This thing needs a band-aid or something, just a shot in the arm, something to just
Yeah.
get it going, because it's almost there.
Rotation is definitely tightening up on radar.
I mean, it's still in decent parameters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that could be the wall cloud, but I don't know. It almost seems like we're losing it. Well, maybe not.
Like I said, it's
Rotation's
trying
moving,
to.
okay.
It's trying to.
I have no idea what you said.
It's trying to
That
shut.
rotation
okay.
still looks okay.
I said rotation still looks okay.
I was gonna say it's trying to shed its little tail here
Yeah.
and maybe tighten back up right there.
The problem is, I think it's just hauled to the north.
Yeah.
It might beat it to 29, or it might beat us to 29. I'm not really sure. If I have a north road before that, I'll take it.
No, it's all good. We'll race to 29. It's a race to 29.
It looks like I do have a north road coming up here about 2.5 miles. Put it up on my phone too. So we can play it.
Go back. I want to go back.
Ow. That was bright. It's still bright.
Chandler's trying not to blind himself while driving.
That is one of the fun aspects of chasing is getting blinded by lightning.
It's like right behind us. Oh, it's trying to... Oh, there might be a funnel. Hang on. That wasn't bad.
Beautiful light show, though. Wow.
It's like... I don't know if you can see it. It's like right in the middle of what we thought might be that wall cloud. I can't tell if it's Scud.
Yeah. Yeah, it's trying again. Look at the latest frame.
Oh, yeah.
It's trying
I
again.
mean, we'll take it.
We'll take.
It's doing something interesting. Excuse me.
You know, this is not where I thought we were going to end up while storm chasing today.
Mm-hmm. You would have said Peoria, Illinois. I've been like, no.
No, thank you.
Guy up there with his hazard zone.
I think that's where we need to turn. No, it's not. Man, this thing is holding my tail, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe going to 29 and then going up is a better play.
Yeah, I would.
Gosh, this new radar, or this
We
new.
can even just stick on this too, see what it's going to do. So I really don't want to turn up and get ahead.
I was gonna say we could actually take this if you wanted.
The low wall cloud.
55. You could take this to 155 north to 74 back east.
Yep.
And that gives us more options because that takes us all the way back to the north side of Bloomington Normal.
Yep.
And then eventually 55 northeast.
Yep.
You know, that song and dance. Then we can watch it to see if it continues to do this. Because if it's continuing to cycle like it's doing, it's going to continue to go faster. But if it tightens up any, it'll slow down slightly just to do that. Conservation of angular momentum
Wow.
and rotation.
Look at that lightning.
So it looks like if we stay on this road, I have two north-south options that'll be for sure good before we hit 155,
Okay.
which might honestly be the play.
Yeah.
Is it still going pretty far northeast though? I mean, because we're gonna have to go north at some point.
So as of right now,
Yeah, I mean,
we do not know if there's a tornado on the ground. It is just radar indicated. A hazard for this storm, I'm looking at the tornado warning, is tornado with 2-inch hail. Basically just stating severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Glassford or 8 miles west of Pekin, moving east at 40 miles an hour. Again, it's just radar indicated. We're not sure. We don't have any confirmed tornado looks on the ground. Taylor and Alex are trying to catch back up to this. I do see a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for it.
Yeah.
Hazard golf ball size hail, 60 mile an hour wind gusts, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. This is just now getting into Peoria, or the Peoria area. So Kingston Mines is seeing the effects of this. Hollis, Bartonsville, Marquette Heights, East Peoria will soon get it. Kickapoo, Bellevue, Norwood.
We're far enough south.
Yep.
To where if we go, 3-4 miles, it's not really going to do anything.
No, it's still broad rotation.
And like Alex just said, there is still a broad rotation. Still capable of producing a tornado at the moment. Just not sure right now as we are getting these new scans in. I just had my reflexivity scan update. Hopefully my velocity scan also updates.
Just want to go ahead and say the new models for tomorrow are starting to roll out. So once that fully loads, if we have some downtime here, we can go ahead and take a live look at some model data for tomorrow.
Perfect. Have you looked at it at all?
I have not. I'm going to hop on right now. I'm not going to share just yet. I'm going to form an opinion before I give anything.
Is there a funnel at our 9
Sounds
o'clock?
good.
It's so hard to see.
It's so hard to see,
When
yeah.
there's no car lights, we can
Yeah.
see it. But right now, we can't see it.
I just got a question. Is it going to even come into Peoria? At this moment, it is tracking towards South Peoria or towards East Peoria in the Marquette Heights,
After this car.
Hollis. It might not go directly downtown, as this rotation might not go directly downtown. It might skirt
I don't see
just
that.
south of it
I don't see what I saw.
into East Peoria towards Washington, more in Deer Creek, Eureka. I just got an updated velocity scan. It does look like there's a new area of tighter rotation. Let me show this on the screen here.
I don't know
But
what
it's
it
still indefinitive right now if there is a tornado on the ground.
I mean, it still looks good. It's just velocity. I don't think it's really tightening up too much.
Oh, velocity sucks.
Yeah, so the latest model is loading up. It's at 7 hours out now. We need to be at 24 hours out. So we're going to have to wait for it to load about a half hour or so. We'll be ready to go.
All right. Oh man, we've been streaming for almost 3.5 hours. It feels like we just started. For a little bit there, we thought we weren't going to get on any tornado-warned storms down in Illinois because they were all the way over in Iowa to begin with. Thankfully, something lined up here.
I mean, it just doesn't look that great.
No, it looks like the Weather Service is going to let the tornado warning expire. They just issued a huge new severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible on it.
We know that from a time or two.
Yeah.
And
Although I
as
will say-
Alex is saying,
It's a little clustered, but this area up
Velocity
here,
is
if it
kinda
could take a
scattering.
little bit more,
Yep.
it would do it.
still definitely a potential threat, though. So for now, just enjoy this light show Chandler and Alex is providing us. This is a very electric storm.
Chasers.
Door chasing.
Faggot.
So at this
Alex.
point, it doesn't look like there's a tornado on the ground, but it does appear that the storm is still cycling, so it may try and cycle through and produce another tornado here as it moves on the south side of Peoria. But for right now, there's good news. There is no tornado on the ground that we can see. There could be one back in there, but at this point, we don't see one on radar. So if it is happening, we're blind to it. So let's see what it does here next couple of minutes, see if it cycles through or continues to weaken, and then, go from there.
Yeah, and there's definitely enough chasers around there to know if there was a tornado, they would hopefully report it to the National Weather Service so that they could issue a warning again.
Yeah, there's enough chasers out there that they will have eyes on it if it does happen.
There's some area of enhanced velocity. That's broad.
That supercell is a
Hollis.
classic supercell look here with that little hook coming around. It could
Yeah.
still do it. Like, it's still very healthy.
Got hit by a tornado in Illinois.
Good ZDR scan, so good updraft strength still. So this storm is not done yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember Alex saying the parameters were still very, very good still.
To be honest, the parameters get a little bit better here coming up in the next couple hours. So we'll have to see what happens with this storm. We could have some good-sized tornadoes coming through Illinois, Iowa, and Missouri in the next couple hours.
And Jessica, to answer your question, they are just south of Peoria, Illinois. Ryan and I are currently sitting at our nice warm homes, not in the threat of a tornado or a severe thunderstorm.
At this point in time, no, but that could change as we get into the later hours in the evening, depending on if we can get these supercells to fire up and produce some hail. Take a peek back at Lansing here. Yeah, nothing here on radar. It's good. So that's a good thing. Let's look up here in northern Michigan. Nope, we are clear in Lower Peninsula, Michigan. Up in the UP, though, it looks like we just have some snow showers. So.
Latest velocity does seem like it wants to organize again.
Good. Not good, but I'm talking as if I'm chasing it. So I'm gonna be positive in the tornadic potential, but this is actually a very dangerous situation because it's actually in town. We do not ever want to see anything impacted. If we could have it our way, it would be an open field affecting nobody but the dust and the dirt on the ground.
Yes, and it's very difficult to chase inside of a very large city like Peoria looks like.
It is very hard to chase, but around town there, it's pretty open. So take a peek back here at the models.
They just updated the tornado warning.
Bless.
They just renewed it.
Having a partnership with TV and us and having
So the HRRR currently, it's a weird looking. I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of this run. This is kind of different than what the past have been. It brings I'm gonna wait to defer my comments, but it brings a line of storms through very early in the morning from west to east. This is 7-8 o'clock in the morning, so that may have implications on how the later threat may play out. It may come through early enough that it could destabilize behind it. We'll have to see here. The model's only out, like I said, to 7 o'clock in the morning, so we'll have to see how that plays out here. So we'll take a peek here in a couple minutes.
Okay. I'm very surprised to see that they renewed this tornado warning.
I mean, there is still some rotation on there.
It does look better than it has before.
I'm flipping between 3 different screens here. Let me go back to it. So more than likely what happened here is just because it's a larger city, they're going to go ahead and take a precaution.
True.
So that usually happens in bigger cities like Chicago, Peoria, or if you're in Michigan, Lansing, Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Detroit. Bigger cities tend to get warned easier just because of the higher population. If the storm is still producing, rotation, we're going to have to watch it closely, and it's more so just out of precaution.
All right, you guys, we're probably gonna call it here. Storm's not dying, but you can see it from there, so we're probably just gonna start making tracks home. We got about a 3-hour, 40-minute drive home, so we're probably gonna get cracking on that. So thanks to everyone who came. We appreciate it.
Sure. We'll go ahead and stay on here.
Yeah, perfect.
And cover some models.
Yep.
Learn how to drive, peoples. Anyway,
It sounds
we're
like
gonna-
Chandler and Alex
we're
are
gonna
done.
call it for the night. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so currently the one model that we have here is not fully loaded. So we'll have to wait just a bit longer for it. It's out to 8 o'clock now, tomorrow morning. So if we wait, I want to say maybe 10 or 15 minutes, we'll have to wait that long just to get some good data here. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Now is the time to do it. If you want to box that radar out and put my screen on, I can go ahead and present mine.
It will as soon as you get that up.
Yep, let me go ahead and stop my screen and add. So anybody who has questions on tomorrow, go ahead and ask them now so we can go ahead and get those out of the way. All right. So that should be ready to share there, Nick.
Yes, it is. Let me get this to full screen. And if you could zoom in at all, that would be perfect.
I don't believe I can zoom in.
Okay, well, hopefully people can see this properly.
I'm not sure if I can or not.
That's okay.
So what you're looking at right now is just the site that I personally use for looking at model data. We'll have to kind of dive in a little bit deeper on other sites because not all the data that we want is available on one site. This just gives a good overview. And right now you can kind of see up here at the top, it says 27% loaded. We'll have to just kind of wait and see how this plays out as we get into the day on Wednesday. It's not completely loaded out yet. So bear with us here. If you guys have any questions, we'll be feel free to ask them. Ann Arbor area tonight, just a hail and thunder lightning threat. Nothing significant. Tomorrow, be alert. Severe potential does exist for significant hazards, including strong tornadoes, large hail to 2 inches in diameter, as well as wind gusts that could approach 70 miles per hour. So as a result, the Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk with hatch zones for hail and tornadoes, which means significant tornadoes and significant hail could occur. Yeah, no problem. So we're out to 11 o'clock now. Yeah, I don't like this run for Michigan for severe weather. That is, it brings a line of storms through from west to east in the morning, and that would essentially overturn the atmosphere if this doesn't become severe. So that's something we have to pay attention to. It has these storms out in Iowa moving northeastward, and it kind of congeals into a line across Illinois, fills in and pushes into Michigan. I'll have to watch that close.
Wow.
See if that comes into fruition, because if that does happen, my concern grows. My concern for this should I say, potential setup will not come to fruition. That concern is growing. So it looks like the threat could be dying down if this model is correct. We do have more models coming out closer to 10 o'clock. I'm not sure we're going to stay live for that long. So we'll just have to wait and see what this brings in and plays out. I do know that this particular model, the HRRR, has been quicker than other models. So this may be wrong, inaccurate. We'll have to just kind of wait and see.
Ryan, I just got pictures. My brother just sent them from one of his buddies in the Wayland area.
Okay. You want to go ahead and share that?
I'm going to see if he can get it sent to us. Pretty good hail damage on the side of his house. It looks like it just snowed like a couple inches.
Okay. Go ahead and have him send it to the MSC Twitter if you can. Or if you can get it to your phone, send it to the Twitter. I can pull it up because I have Twitter still open.
I asked him to just send it to us somehow. We'll definitely be making a post about that later tonight.
Yeah, so this model will be loaded here in about 10 more minutes, guys. I apologize for this. Victoria, where do you got to get this software? What software are you talking about, Victoria? Are you talking about the models? Are you talking about the streaming software? Like what exactly?
I think she means excuse me. I believe she means the weather models.
Yeah, this site is cod.edu under numerical models. We don't suggest hopping on and looking on yourself just because they are hard to interpret. If you take it for face value, you'll be very, very disappointed. It takes a lot of knowledge to kind of dive into these, read soundings and stuff like that. If you don't know what a sounding is, let me see if I can pull something up for you.
We just had a question from Simone Smith. She's in Peoria. Where is the storm located now? The storm is actually passed through Peoria up into Peoria Heights. Yeah, at this time there is no tornado warning. Still a severe thunderstorm warning in that area. I'm actually going to just quick show that on there real quick. Yes, the storm has passed through Peoria already.
That's good news.
And they did cancel that tornado warning, which is better news.
Awesome.
So I'll get your screen back on there now.
I'm actually going to show a different screen.
Okay.
Just to give an example of what
We'll
goes
leave
into
it on
forecasting.
keyboard then. Because I believe
So my screen is good to share now.
Okay, you're up. I'm gonna actually add this.
So some of you may have seen something like this before. It's called a forecast sounding. So if you take models at face value, what I mean by that is if you don't know how to read this, just taking models at face value can be very dangerous and very misleading. So this is basically a complete profile of the atmosphere. Top right here, we have a hodograph, which is basically your wind shear profiles, what direction they're facing. It's just a lot of data to analyze and interpret. So if you don't know how to read one of these, I would suggest not looking at models. And that's just my best advice because it can be misleading and tricky just to kind of hop on there and do it yourself. But we do use sites such as cod.edu weather. Pivotal Weather is another one. But again, I would not advise going on there and looking for yourself without proper knowledge because it can be misleading. Go ahead and stop sharing and move it back. So again, we're waiting for the new model to load up here. Let's take a peek at it now. We're out to 2 o'clock now, tomorrow afternoon. So a brief look at this. We have storms that fire up into Wisconsin. Now, again, this is a potential of what could happen. This isn't set in stone. This is one model's interpretation. We have multiple models to look at. So this is one model, kind of brings a line of storms through West Michigan there. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Not a good look if you like severe weather, because this may hinder the instability and the moisture transport up into Michigan. We'll have to see how that plays out. We move into the afternoon hours, and I have not looked at this yet myself. This is a surprise for me as well. Excuse me. The storms look to form into a QLCS, and it looks like there is rotation. These little black areas, those are helicity swaths. What that is basically a rotating updraft. So the radar, the forecast model here is seeing that these storms may be rotating. So this is 1 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, entering Ontario, and then far down here in Monroe County, Washtenaw, Wayne, those areas. So if this model is correct, storms will come over the lake early in the morning. This is 12, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And we also have 3 o'clock now. Or maybe we do? Yes, we do. And then 3 o'clock becomes stronger as it exits Michigan. If that were to occur, a secondary lineup would be unlikely, because this would probably become your main line of storms. And that would pass through as early as 8 o'clock in the west side of Michigan. However, if we look at surface-based CAPE, which we can do that by switching over to this, my concern with this is how much instability is in West Michigan at 8 o'clock in the morning. And my guess is going to be not very much at all. This is 8 o'clock in the morning. As you can see, that line, there's nothing above Grand Rapids. We have very minimal CAPE, 300. Usually want to see this closer to 1,000, if not closer to 2,000 or 3,000. We can get severe thunderstorms with as much as 500 CAPE, but usually want to see that number above 1,000 for these types of setups. So not very much instability there. The real instability kind of kicks up in far southeast corner there at noon, which is what I was expecting to happen originally. We are up over 1,000, approaching 1,500 surface CAPE in some spots. So based upon this model alone, we actually do have, I will point out this, we do have instability reforming behind the main line. So this model is indicating 2 rounds of storms would be possible. But before I dive back into that, this model for the first round, if there is 2 rounds, the first round would impact southeast Michigan in Detroit's area from Saginaw south along US 23. We'll go ahead and call it US 127 and east, from Lansing and over down to the border of Ohio, and then points eastward into Ontario. That area is favored on this model. Let's go ahead and switch back over to the precip and see if this model fires more storms behind it, because it did have instability reforming. You can kind of see that line kind of tries to get going there, maybe doesn't. So that's going to be a big question. If that first line comes through that early, the west side of Michigan would have a much lesser of a severe threat, and the east side would be the greatest threat for all hazards. But again, this is one model, and we have multiple to look at. So we'll have to wait and see in about 45 more minutes some new model data as it comes out. I do want to look at one more thing here. I'm going to have to change screens to do that. So give me 1 second. Nick, are you available to check that Peoria cell?
I am.
I'll go ahead and pull that up really quick while I work on getting what I want to show.
Here's Peoria cell. Bayview Gardens is now impacting Metamora. Germantown Hills is just now leaving. Again, there is no tornado warning on it. Still a hazard is ping pong ball sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That's pretty much it with it. I've been watching it as Ryan's been explaining some of the models here, and I don't see, as you can see on the radar here, I don't see any areas of tight rotation to cause any concern at the moment. which is good news. Yeah. I do have those pictures from Facebook here. Hopefully be able to try to get those loaded up. Let me... Ryan, those pictures were sent in the MSC Messenger.
Okay. I will get those up momentarily. I do want to... Okay, I'll go ahead and do that first while we're on this. See if I can go ahead and pull this
He
up.
only sent ones. He's got pretty significant siding damage.
I do not have anything in MSC Messenger.
Are you sure?
I am positive. I don't see anything.
From a guy named Matt?
Nope. I don't have anything in here. Nope, I don't have anything.
That's odd because I do. Let me try to do something real quick. Like,
Let me go ahead and refresh this, see if it pops in. It may log me out though. Okay, I do believe I have it now.
gray house. Looks like it just snowed.
No, I don't have it.
Okay.
I do not. Is it in the Goon chat?
No, it's in the MSC Facebook Messenger.
Oh, Facebook Messenger. I don't have
Yeah.
Facebook pulled up. I'm looking in Twitter. My bad. I do
Oh,
not have
no.
Facebook pulled up.
No, it's in Facebook. I'm like, it's got to be there.
Yeah, I do not have Facebook pulled up right now.
Okay. It's just Facebook does this weird thing where these pictures are tiny.
Okay. If you can figure that out, I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to present this screen here, which I just did. So I'm ready to talk. If you want to figure that out, I can go ahead and talk. If you want to share mine.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead and put me up.
You're up.
All right. So this is a sounding that we pulled out ahead of that main line in Washtenaw County, which is Ann Arbor. So what we look for in this profile, a few things. Number one, your cape. On the far left side of this, we have surface cape at 1678. That's sufficient. Mixed layer ML cape at 1450. That's also sufficient. One thing that I look at here, lapse rates down here, we're over 6.2 on the lowest level in the atmosphere. That's okay. Could see those a little bit better, but still supportive. Most importantly, your wind shear. This is what we talk about. The wind shear profiles at the lowest level in the atmosphere from your surface to your first kilometer is 40 knots. The threshold for that is 20 knots. So over 20 knots, we are talking tornadic activity. We have double that amount. Go up to the next level, 55 knots. Go up to the next level, 50 knots. So we have extremely strong shear in place. And it's positioned well. If you look up here on this line in the top right, we call this a hodograph. You can see it's right curved up and over, and it kind of goes all over the place there. But that right curve, the long and right curving motion of that hodograph is what's going to get these storms to rotate. One more thing I want to look at, the LCL, this green line right here where I'm circling with my mouse, that green line. So down here on this white line, that is the surface. LCL here, that is your cloud bases. So these cloud bases tomorrow are forecasted to be extremely low to the ground. So that combination, including the strong shear, is prime environment for tornadoes. There's more ingredients I can go over here, but everything looks good. I do want to point out the storm motion did slow down a little bit, looking about 55 to 60 miles per hour. That's going to be southeast to northwest. So yeah, that is mainly for Southeast Michigan on this model. But again, soundings do look supportive of tornadoes, some of which could be stronger. I don't see on this model, I'm going to stress this, I do not see on this model anything that indicates Western Michigan being in a substantial severe threat. Now, that is one
just
model
lost
again.
your-
What?
We just lost your stream.
That's fine. I ended it.
Oh, okay.
That's just one model, and we have many more to look at. So that is just, again, one version of what could happen. So don't take it as gospel. We have more model data to look at. So again, next model begins coming out here in. That's not loaded yet. That
While you're
is
just a second, while you're trying to figure that out, let me show those. Excuse me. Well, let me show this damage of hail. It's kind of hard to see. I did try to zoom in. We've got that white on the ground there, that is all hailstones. This up here where my mouse is, you've got hail damage on the sides of the house. That's pretty significant. Flipping over to here. Again, got a bunch of hail here down on the deck. Damage to the plastic railings on the deck. All around here. I mean, it looks like it just snowed. And here's a little closer look here. Let me zoom in on here. A little bit more close look here at the damage of the siding, this vinyl siding.
And that is the power of golf ball size hail right there, folks.
That is some serious damage. I hope he's got insurance.
Yeah, if you don't have insurance, that's going to be pretty expensive to fix. That was where, Nick?
That was in Wayland.
So that's in Wayland, which is just south of Grand Rapids there, right by US 131.
Yeah, and that wasn't even the area where it showed the most significant hail.
Yeah.
It showed increased hail potential further east.
Luckily, that storm has died out, but we do have more storms possible overnight, although right now it's looking unlikely.
Yes.
A few questions here. Lowell, hello from Lowell. Are we good for tomorrow? Patricia, model data is still inconclusive. We do have an enhanced risk, and that includes all hazards for the entire state of Michigan, including strong tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds. We'll have to wait for more models to come out before we get a consensus. Of course, this is just one run of the latest model that we looked at, so we're gonna have to dive in a little bit further when these new models come out. But right now, we're kind of inconclusive on a forecast. We're just kind of looking at new data. If more data comes in and supports that the eastern side of Michigan is more favorable, well, we'll update accordingly in the morning with our forecast. But for us to go ahead and change our forecast based off one model would be what's the word I'm looking for? Irresponsible.
Yeah, irresponsible. That's what I was thinking.
One more model we're going to look at is the NAM 3, although that's not loaded currently. And I'm not sure I want to stay on a half hour longer to let it load up. So if we want to go ahead and end the stream here, we can.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. It's been about 4 hours.
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in, watching our live chasing. We will be live tomorrow across Michigan. I think we have 3 streams going to be going, myself being one of them. Joel, he's from the Grand Rapids area. I think he's heading a little bit further east and south. I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to him lately. And then Alex, who is out in Illinois, will be also planning on chasing. So thank you guys for watching. We'll have an update tomorrow morning. We'll say around 9 or 10 o'clock on the severe excuse me, on the severe setup. We may do a live breakdown in the morning. So just watch for that. But just watch for our forecast. If you haven't already, on Facebook, you can turn our notifications on for our page by hitting the 3 dots in your top right, depending on your device. There is an option to toggle on our notifications. So if you want to be notified when we do post, you can go ahead and do that within the Facebook app. So that'd be awesome if you guys want to stay ahead of what we post immediately as we release it. So again, thanks guys for watching. I don't know if you have anything to add, Nick, but go ahead if you do. But if not, this is Ryan. I'm signing off. So thanks guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ryan. One thing I wanted to add is follow us on your subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to. That is youtube.com/MI Storm Chasers, or just search up Michigan Storm Chasers. It should show up. Please subscribe, hit that bell notification to whenever we post videos about new discussions or new weather events. Please consider, if you would like to, subscribing to our Patreon. That helps us out a ton with just keeping us able to do what we're doing. There's multiple tiers. You do not have to subscribe, but if you would like to, that is at patreon.com/Michigan Storm Chasers as well. We do podcasts, more in-depth discussions on weather events that Ryan does. He does a great job on those. Anything else? Do you think of anything else, Ryan?
No, I got nothing besides we do have a merchandise store. If you guys want to go ahead and check out our merchandise store, it's at Teespring. If you go to Teespring directly, you can search in the search bar Michigan Storm Chasers. It'll bring up our store. If you want to buy yourself some hoodies or some T-shirts, go ahead and check that out if you're interested. But yeah, that's all I got. So again, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys probably sometime tomorrow on this live stream again here on Facebook and YouTube. So stay safe, guys.
Thank you all. Have a good night.